Most extreme elimination challenge.
All right, guys. It's Thursday night, and so you all know what that means.
I don't
Welcome.
know shit.
You don't know shit. Welcome to episode 3 of the Mutant XPerience. My name is Mutant XP, and we have an action-packed show for you guys tonight.
Oh man.
And so, first of all, I want to introduce our special guests for tonight, all the way from Michigan. We got Rick, a.k.a. Onagi, and Steve, a.k.a. Buglehawk. They are from KO Arcade, a.k.a. the Poverty Game Night guys. And so, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
And
He's Rick, I'm Steve, by the way.
yeah, so the alcoholic is Steve, is Rick. And
Well, I mean, it's both.
oh, it's
Yeah,
both,
it's
right?
I mean,
And the
It's
guy
good.
that succumbs to peer pressure is Steve. So, but we got a special edition here. We got I got my co-host, legendary New York 12 player Tweleve, aka Fahazi. Is that how you pronounce
Farhad Firuza, you
Firuza.
stupid fucking chimp. There are no K's. There's an H, but there are no K's.
Yeah.
it's a hard H.
So we got an action-packed show for tonight, dude.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for some action.
Dude, are you guys ready for some action, dude?
I'm fucking ready for some
so
action.
Farhad's got the Sour
Yeah,
Patches.
2 pound fucking bag. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, the Poverty Game Night guys are already like 10 beers deep. So
Shit, I need to catch up. Hold up.
yeah,
Whoa,
you guys
fuck
definitely
fuck
do
my
need
mic.
to catch up, dude. I wish weed was legal in New York. Then I could
It
be
can
like
be.
then I could be like Joe Rogan and just smoke weed on the podcast. Like, have you ever seen the Joe Rogan podcast? He's just smoking weed like
Well,
during the entire podcast.
I watched Getting Dug
That's
with
the
High.
gangster.
That's how we can go for 3 hours.
That's how
Oh,
we can go
shit.
for 3. Exactly,
Level of
right?
focus there.
So once again, guys, for those of you who are in the chat, let us know how the audio is working. I know we had some audio issues in the last podcast, so I decided not to be a cheap bastard and break out the mixer and the super expensive $300 headsets.
I can confirm he does indeed have a mixer.
Yes, I do. And so let's just go ahead and get started. So, obviously, Poverty Game Night guys, Rick and Steve are on the podcast. So I wanted to sort of start at the beginning. Obviously, I started this podcast so that everyone gets a good introduction to all of the different people that play this awesome game that we all love. And so, Rick, Steve, let us know. How did you guys start playing Third Strike, dude?
Guess at this point, I mean, I'll let Steve start it out, and
Mhm.
I mean, kind of go from there.
Jeez. Well, it's like I played fighting games for a long time, but never like against other people. Like I probably started playing like a lot in the Dreamcast days, but then, God, how long ago was it now? Like when you moved in?
Yeah, I was like,
when you basically
when I bought my house, probably about just over about 7 years ago.
Well, wait a minute. I don't want to interrupt here, but I am. You guys
Oh, you're
live
all right.
together?
Who?
No,
guys
no,
live
we just live on the same street,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
so it's very
I was
convenient.
like, I was like,
I thought you
we'll
guys
get into
lived
that as
together. I
well.
was like,
I was like, but yeah, I bought my house like about a little over 7 years ago, and it's like 2 houses down from Steve here. And for the most part, I had actually built my first arcade based off the Mortal Kombat 2 arcade cabinet, and it actually had an OG Xbox inside with Xbox version of 25th anniversary or 15? Yeah, 15,
yeah.
excuse me. 15 anniversary.
The weird version of
The
Third
version
Strike.
that's not correct. And yeah, we just started jamming out. So big shout outs real quick to Ricky Brandt. That guy, when I had that modded Xbox, I'm just gonna say everybody had one. And we installed that game, and he was like, "Yo, dude, you'll love this game. Don't worry about it."
Third
And
Strike.
to
You're
tie
talking
in
about Third
why it
Strike?
is that he said that I would love the game
Oh, okay.
was because I actually played a lot of Dead or Alive 2
Mhm.
on the Dreamcast, which obviously incorporates a parry system. Granted, it has a free or an action button
They're
incorporated.
different,
with,
but it's like if you can see what someone's
paper,
doing and
scissors,
react
rocks was there,
well,
yeah.
it's like you can hurt people.
For sure. I mean, there was a level of countering involved. So when we started playing in 04 in my dad and mom's basement, Third Strike, I mean, it just got to the point where you were just like, oh, you don't need a button, you just press a direction, And it's just classic Street Fighter, the old B&B basically, that butter and butter.
You're really bad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He only used fierce buttons.
I was horrible.
Let's just let it out right
Not
there.
that I was good either, but I was like
god-awful.
aware that there were 4 other buttons on the arcade
god
stick.
awful. It was outrageous. What I would just like, I'm just like, hey, we're just using button 3 and button 6. That's all I'm doing.
They're the strong ones.
They're the
They
strong.
do
They do the most damage. So, but I mean, to tie in what he was saying, I mean, we just played fighting games for a little while, and transitioning from Dead or Alive 2 to and just kind of working our way to playing Third Strike. It just kind of became.
Third Strike became the game. I don't know why, other than it's Third Strike and it's fun.
It's just fun. I mean, it was just it was a way for us to.
We'd watch like select scenes and shit online and be like, oh, that's some cool shit. And basically, like, our whole philosophy is just like, we always go for what we call the Mr. Cool Guy stuff, which is just like, whatever the hardest stuff to do that looks the best, does the most damage, you go for that shit. You don't just like
exactly.
You don't just take the easy route. You always do the best possible thing, whether it's easy or not.
Exactly. And to put it in examples, it's like sometimes like Steve will get pissed at me when I'm playing because I'm playing Ken, and I'm going after the dumbest, hardest, stupidest setup. Mm-hmm. But if it goes through, we're like, hi.
But I will boo him every time.
I was just like, but it's like exactly. But if I miss like Kara Shoro, he's just like, man, you're bad. Just like, well, I guess I didn't. I'm sorry, I missed the something that's difficult in the game. So playing boring Ken, like clean Gillette Mach 3 Ken, yeah, that's not our style. We want to go after the dumbest, coolest setups that you can go for.
So apparently we've earned it. Like Saginaw has earned a reputation of like very aggressive.
Yeah,
which I'm okay with.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, I didn't like play fighting games really competitively before, but I came from playing like I preferred SNK games and stuff. So it's like I like aggressive games, and so it's like I'm just gonna. That's just my mentality when I play.
Yeah, we're gonna bully you.
If you can stop the other guy from playing, then
that's the advantage.
Works out.
That's the advantage, basically. Is like put his ass in the corner and give him a 50-50. If he don't like it, you just smack his ass around and just kind of go from there, basically.
That sounds about right.
So that's really interesting that you guys got into Third Strike through a 3D game.
Well, I mean, that was me personally.
Yeah, I was never like.
Yeah, I was never into that.
Games. I liked watching Rick play DOA online.
Oh,
like
so
DOA
good.
2 Ultimate or whatever.
So good.
Oh.
Yeah, I played with some of the top tier kind of guys back then, at least. I mean, not anymore. I mean, hell, I fell out.
You played
after 4.
Tom Brady. And
yeah, I mean, when you speak of DOA 2, like I played with Tom Brady back in the day. I mean, and granted, this is online. The guy doesn't know me, like, face and all that. But I mean, there was also like Master. That guy was like just gross. Like his Hayabusa back then was just like if you hit a punch button, yeah, you're getting Izuna dropped. If you're familiar with that at all, the whole like Kit Perry, throw him in the air, spiral downward with a grab. But I mean, again, I mean the game helped me develop. I feel like an essence to just learn the opponent's movement, not so much as in like the person you're fighting against, but more so the character, which is what I kind of like strive for now. It's to the point where, like, as Kuroda said, there's no such thing as a block string in Third Strike, which everybody to this day should take as the literal first testament of Third Strike. No such thing as a block string. You should never be scared to press the forward button after you've blocked. Because if they mess up and they're like basically telecasting, they're down, they're low forward fireball, go after the fireball every time. Just do it.
Just as a kind of tangent there that you were saying, Rick, I feel as though I think maybe what you're referring to is the red parry, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like there's this sort of stigma behind the red parry, like it's really hard to do. And like,
bullshit.
If anyone, well, Farhad can attest to this. I probably have the worst execution of any Third Strike player in history. Maybe Diaper Bomb has worse execution than me.
Is that why he plays Alex?
Yes.
Oh,
so
I play Alex.
So I have probably the worst execution in the history of Third Strike, and I can red parry things, and I feel like people just need to go for them because the
I mean,
timing.
what is it? It's like the difference is like it's like a frame or two shorter. Like it doesn't. If you can do a parry, you can do a red parry.
And I did a little tutorial like a few months ago about quote unquote safe red parries. Like there are certain moves where you can like red parry, and it's safe because it's safe in the sense that if you miss a red parry, all you're gonna have to eat is the second hit. So like
exactly.
Oh yeah, or just like the end of a Shinku. Just always go for it. You're not gonna. What's the worst that'll happen?
You never get knocked down.
Well, a better example would be like, for example, like Ryu's towards strong overhead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if
or
you
Ken's,
go for the red
or
parry,
Ken's back forward.
Yeah, if you go for the red parry or Ken's back forward, if you go for the red parry, and you fuck up, you're gonna get hit by the second hit, but you're not gonna get hit by anything else.
Exactly.
So
I guess if someone was super fresh and they saw that with Ryu in the overhead, they can go into super or whatever. But that's not going to happen.
Yeah, but that's like
not often.
Yeah, but that's like a strategy thing. So if anything, for everyone who's watching, always practice red parries. I mean, especially if you're like online.
It should definitely be a part of your game plan.
Yeah,
for sure.
There's no reason to ever get chipped out.
Yeah,
exactly.
You gotta die like a man. Just get killed by trying to parry.
I mean.
It's like asking a girl out. Even if you fuck up, it's not the worst thing in the world. You tried. That's Star Trek in a nutshell. You need the confidence to try.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean that's just an execution thing. So it's just really interesting that you, well at least Steve, you went from Rick, Dead or Alive, right? That's what you.
Yeah.
So you said that you started playing Third Strike in 2004.
Yep.
So I played it like a tiny bit when it came out, but like we as a group, as the Saginaw people, it's like we played like on the anniversary edition. Basically, is when we started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
like playing it against each other and trying to do stuff, and then we were like okay by the time Online Edition came out. I mean, we weren't so good that John was like, "Oh shit, my unblockables with Urian don't work."
Right. Then it just kind of got to the point where it's just like, oh well, we know this setup's coming, and it's an unblockable. So, and again, this stems back to some of our fundamentals of our group, which is like, you should treat unblockables like if you know it's unblockable, don't block, just parry it, just like get out of it, try and get out of it. So, but I mean, like right around about 2004. I mean. That's when we picked it up, in a sense, or not all of us, but it was.
You say all of us, but it's all of like, 3 people,
give or
right
take,
now.
just under about like, I'd say under 4 people basically. But I mean, after I moved in my house, I'd say just over about 7 years ago, we really kind of got down and just really cranked it out to the point where we're just like, if we're gonna take the game serious, we should just really kind of build a small community and. God, the
time was right
small.
with the people. Like it was me, you, and John for the longest time.
Those are really the co-founders. I mean, myself, Steve and John. I kind of almost really wish he was here, but I mean, the guy definitely has the knowledge and some of the experience that him and I
he's
really don't know about the tournament scene.
I guess he's in tournaments as roadie. He's been around. Oh my gosh, he's like entered tournaments like back,
way back,
back in the day,
when the arcade was dying, basically. He was really into it. I mean, he remembers those.
I played him in a Third Strike tournament. My first tournament I ever went to, and it wasn't supposed to be Third Strike. It was supposed to be something else, and then they couldn't get the game to work, so it turned into Third Strike.
Wow.
And I didn't know how to fucking play the game like at all. I had played 3 because the Elan's Castle had it.
Okay.
And I remember, and this is before I even knew John, and I played against some guy who also had never played, but I played fighting games, so I beat him. And then I think I played John and someone else and got my ass whooped. But it was just funny because and I was playing Ken at the time because it was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Man.
And it's like he beat me back then, and then I didn't see him for like
X amount of years,
5-10 years or whatever.
Exactly.
And then.
There was never a strong community at all up here in Saginaw.
I mean there was a little bit. I mean,
the game faded.
I mean, the Saginaw's most notorious player is Joel, a Tekken player, and
very true.
What was it? Drac?
His name was Drac. Yep,
that guy's ridiculous, or at least he was. He retired from fighting a long time ago.
For sure.
He owned the Tekken world for a while, I guess.
He definitely put his stamp on the world in terms of Tekken, but again. He was kind of
some Saginaw people in some old episode or issues of Tips and Tricks or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's just like John, because it's a small town, so like anybody who like knows about fighting games knows each other. And I think it's probably Ricky Brandt was like, "Oh, hey, these guys are playing Third Strike. You should tell John."
That was really what it was.
And then it just turned to us playing Third Strike all the time.
I mean, Ricky basically was just like, "Yo, dude, if you're gonna get into a game that's like popular and fun to play, fast pace." He was just like, you got to put the Third Strike on your arcade cabinet, man. It's like the thing to have on an arcade. And granted, again, we were playing the anniversary edition, and it wasn't, per se, like, obviously it wasn't the correct version. And granted, we didn't really know about it just yet. I think John had pointed out, like, well, that's supposed to be unblockable, and we weren't aware of that. So
Akuma's supposed to be able to hit forward medium punch and start crying because he can't throw him.
So, but I mean, it really just stemmed down to like myself, Steve, and John just, I guess, mentally just kind of got together a lot and just really sat down on MAME, said, fuck it, we're not going to play on the, anniversary edition. We'll just play on MAME for a little while, see how that goes, and CPS3. And
the online edition came out, and then it was like, we weren't just playing each other. Oh, we just passed the stick around while drinking.
Yep.
Playing people online, and that that levels you up a lot, just seeing different stuff.
For sure. I mean, you get an idea of how things work. Again, your focus is now not necessarily like the character that the opponent that you're playing, but more so what can the character do to you to hurt you in a sense of like, well, okay, well, every Shoto's got that uppercut, so the reality is you're baiting for it. You're not going to block. You're going to fucking press down. And then on someone's wake up.
Then eventually we played real Third Strike because we got a CPS3.
Exactly. And then on the blues,
I mean, I had a CPS3. It was a dead new generation board.
Yeah, for sure. Like Steve had owned
it had
one.
RAM in it.
He owned one a long time ago, and then like my birthday about 2 years ago?
It feels
a year
like
and a half.
It's got to be longer.
It's got to be longer. It wouldn't surprise me as longer than that. But I bought a CPS3 offline. I made the commitment and mentioned to the wife. I'm like, yo, this shit's about to go down. Don't worry about it. Sorry. Finances are going through.
So you guys are talking about OE, right? Like when you were talking about passing the stick around while you guys were drinking, you're talking about OE.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, we transitioned from 15th anniversary to MAME to CPS3.
I don't think we played MAME that much.
And then we just went right to OE.
I have always hated emulator Third Strike. I still don't like Fightcade.
And then to bring it back, it was just like I just sat there and Steve's just like, what we should do, or you should do, or in general, he goes, let's just get down on some fucking like real arcade hardware. I'm like, well, don't you need one of those super guns or some shit? And that's basically what we are right now.
So he made one.
I was just like, well, fuck it.
He's made all our arcade.
I was just like,
so he's like,
I'll build it. I was like,
wait, you made a super gun?
Yeah, I built. Everything in my house.
Awesome.
That in future times.
This is after you'd already built 2 arcade cabinets.
I was like, I built 2 homemade arcade cabinets. I even dedicated one specifically to Third Strike Online Edition. It's actually what I would consider, and Steve will maybe even agree with me, it's the only North American, all made of wood, American-style sit-down cabinet.
Nice.
It also
with American sticks or Japanese sticks?
It has American.
We also so until a couple years ago we played all HAP, and I mean I consider us just versatile, play on anything these days. But like we were just like HAP. That's the way I do it. I played fucking KO13 on a HAP stick, and people thought I was insane.
Wow.
Combos, so fuck them.
Hey yo, I can do Tachigaigas on basically anything you give me.
I'm trying to picture playing Dualon on a HAP. My hands are crying right now.
God. Oh God, yeah. I watched Steve do some crazy shit with.
No, I played Ash with a circle gate.
Ash,
what the?
That's not the way to do it.
He's just like,
all right, wait. Let me give a little context to Mutant. Playing Ash is already fucking crazy in itself. You've got to do some of the most complicated fucking motions I've ever done in a fighting game.
Dude,
doing that shit on an American stick is actually fucking insane.
Dude, you know how old I am, dude? I played old school Fatal Fury games.
That's our motto. Big American hands.
I played old school Fatal Fury games on fucking 8-ways, dude. Like, you know the motions
That's
for
fine,
some of their supers,
but
dude?
playing Ash on a fucking 8-way is ridiculous.
Okay.
Let me blow your mind even more. What if I told you he played it on an 8-way circle gate?
Oh my god.
Get the fuck out.
No way. Can't even find the corners.
Yeah, we both
Fuck.
we both.
Well, you need corners to do triangle charges.
I was like, we actually both developed majority of our skill play off of a circle gate.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
impressive.
like there's some weird shit you can do with like a hap circle gate or just a hap in general because that's so springy.
Yeah,
Like
you can throw it on you.
if I wanted to do a hyper hop, you can just like tap down back and the spring of the stick will just give you a hyper hop.
Mhm.
Wow.
It's really
Yeah, it was dumb, but I mean, that's
See,
that
I'm
was just
spoiled. I
Like a
got way.
dumbass technique you can pull off, but I mean, to bring it back to center there. I mean, everything in my garage, and in time, hopefully, I mean, maybe we have the opportunity to do a small like tour in my garage.
Definitely. Dude.
Everything that I play on, I built myself.
That's awesome.
I do not own a single TE stick other than the one that my friend has here. And believe it or not, he doesn't even know just yet. But I parted that bitch out.
actually, you can bring that out.
Yeah.
I made sure to wire up medium kick and fierce punch, so it's a Chun-Li stick now. You're fine.
Chun-Li, bro.
Uh-huh.
Chun-Li's.
Dude, that
Oh,
reminds
yeah.
me. Like earlier today, a friend of mine on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Very
good.
Yeah, a friend of mine on Facebook earlier. He posted. Wow, that's
Holy
pretty
shit.
awesome.
That's nice.
So a friend of mine on Facebook. He posted a picture of his Moss stick.
Oh god, Mosses are just like that's American style, but that's like you got to be even stronger than
Yo,
normal.
you got it's like jacking off an elephant.
Dude,
It's like you gotta work that bitch.
Yeah, I can see it.
and like he posted a picture of his Moss stick, and he tagged a bunch of us our names, and like it totally reminded me of the first stick I ever built. So like this
People
was
used to play with on Marvel 2. My buddy Debo used to tell me that there used to be people in tournament play that would put gloves on their right hand.
No,
Oh, that's
in
in
East
New
Coast,
York,
like a
that's
lot of
fucking normal.
a lot of the top Marvel players.
Desmond does that.
like,
Fucking
yeah.
Sanford used to do that. Yipes used to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if Justin did that, but everyone else did.
No, your skin will peel off if you don't use gloves.
If not, it was like a Moss cheese grater.
Yeah. Especially if you played cable. If you played cable, you had to have a fucking glove on.
Definitely.
Yeah,
So as far as 3SO, 3SO gets a lot of I don't know where Rick went. But
Oh, he just had to go to the bathroom. Back in a second.
oh yeah, to go to the bathroom. All right. So
I can talk about online edition. It's okay.
yeah. So tell us a little bit about online edition, Steve, because 3SO it's been out for what, like 6 years?
Something like
Has
that.
it
Yeah,
been
it
that
came
long?
out.
Yeah, it's been out that long, and
Wow.
obviously
a
3SO
while.
gets 3SO gets a bad rap.
Yeah, no shit.
From the hardcore community.
I'd rather play on Fightcade, but that's just me.
But it seems like, just listening to your story, it seems like 3SO really opened things up for you guys.
Yeah, it just one, it was like an excuse to like play the game more because it was like a version of the game that was more arcade accurate.
Mm-hmm.
But also just like having online, and I mean, obviously, I don't know. Like I said, I've never liked the way Third Strike runs on any emulator. Like it always feels weird to me.
Uh-huh.
And like it's fast, right? Am I not like in general? Emulator, like
Oh, absolutely.
Fightcade and stuff. Like it seems like it runs a lot faster than other versions. Whereas like online edition, I think is slightly slower than arcade.
It's weird. Like, I mean, from my own personal feeling, like I sometimes think that the Fightcade or FBA version has the tendency to run like PS3, and then like the Xbox 360, I feel like just runs slightly quicker. But maybe I'm just so used to it by now. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of weird.
The problem is we jump back and forth all the time. Now.
But I will tell you this: for those that are listening, that are watching right now, if you've been playing on console, whether it's Xbox or Xbox 360 or PS3, or even, for example, on your computer, if you go to an arcade and you're like, yo, I got you. Let's do this. Let's get on the sticks. More than likely, it's going to take you about 30 minutes to get before you get a real awakening before you're like, damn, that charge partitioning or charge time is
Oh yeah, if
little bit
everybody
longer.
charge moves, that'll fuck you up. Like,
Oh, dude.
Antoine, like probably the most successful
Yeah,
Michigan player.
Alucard. Yeah, Alucard.
Like, well, I think I first met him at some Street Fighter 4 thing that I didn't play in, but
So Alucard is
Or-
from Michigan, right?
Yep, he's from Detroit. Yep, he's one of our Detroit hometown guys.
he escaped.
He did the right thing.
But,
Get the fuck out.
Dude.
Yeah.
there's
No
no
offense,
reason
man,
that-
but Detroit, fuck. Detroit's rough, dude.
There's no reason.
Has Detroit gotten better,
If you're
dude?
taking it serious, just get the hell out of Michigan.
Has Detroit gotten better, dude? Because
How far are you
I
guys
mean,
I
from
don't
Flint?
know.
As far as like Street Fighter stuff, probably they got worse since Antoine left.
like,
just 'cause
why
everybody
did
else has
why
to
did they think
try
that?
and-
Why did they think that legalizing gambling and opening a casino? You know, like when I saw that go down, the first image that came to my mind was, you know, that scene in Back to the Future 2
I was thinking of this
when
from
fucking
RoboCop too.
when Marty goes back to the alternate past, and he goes back to the what's the name of the city that they live in?
Fuck, I don't remember.
Hidden Valley or
Listen,
fucking
listen,
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys who blocks out Back to
Hidden
the
Valley
Future
Mansion.
2 and
right or whatever, right? And then Biff
You sure you
like
don't want some salad?
yeah, this is after Biff like went back in time and changed history.
You got the almanac.
Yeah, you got the almanac.
Yeah,
That's what
almanac.
Detroit looked like to me, dude.
No,
like,
when I
"Don't
think
lie
of
to me."
Detroit, I
He's
think
like,
of RoboCop
you need
2.
this book. This book's gonna change your life.
I mean, there's some nice people in Detroit.
Oh,
like the
absolutely.
the anime scene, they're all like nice guys. Like that's like Jay, who is like the guy who got us out for Youmacon and for Michigan Masters. He's
Yeah.
the guy in charge of Michigan Masters.
No. I don't want
It's
the
like-
viewers to
But
think
as
that
far
I'm.
as like Street Fighter,
Yeah.
honestly, like not really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, I don't want the viewers to think that I'm shitting on Detroit, even though I kind of
Oh
am.
no, and nor are we. I mean,
But
at the most part,
but-
I mean, the thing I can say is this: like,
But the people
you
in
know,
charge have
at-
really
at the
fucked
time,
up
like,
Detroit.
Antoine was very well known for 3S, and at the same time,
Uh-huh.
like when he had gone further with SF4, you know, he was doing well. You know, he
Uh-huh.
moved on and got his stuff together and took that brave step and showed the initiative from a career standpoint from a fighting game.
Mhm.
You know, and moved out to the East Coast where we all know it's more prevalent. I mean, it's just
Mhm.
you're better around a stronger community. You can
Mhm.
only grow.
Mhm.
You know when you're around a stronger community, and I mean that was nice. But as for
yeah, like we're not talking shit. It's just like I don't know. I mean, there's a reason that we just started on our own, played against each other. You know, like the whole poverty game night thing. That's just us. Like we're not part of the Michigan fighting community like at all.
that's the goofiest
we're
part.
just
about
guys
it.
that were just like, we like Third Strike. We're gonna play Third Strike,
Yeah.
and we've done it for so long and tried so hard that we got pretty fucking good at it.
Surprisingly enough, after playing as many rounds as we have online and passing that stick around,
And
I
just
mean,
playing each other
and
like,
playing one another, and just like the biggest thing we can also like stress to like those that are watching as well, or looking to pick up the game or looking to go further with it is if you're around friends, take the criticism like tough love. Like
Mhm.
if you
You need
know
to.
someone's going to play a low tier character and it's already been established for years that it's a low tier character, just take the criticism and be like, yo, you need to learn that shit ain't going to work or you about to get your ass busted.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah,
like,
I found that out
you know,
the hard way.
like gobble, gobble, gobble.
Yeah, right,
So-
Farhad, because your main was 12 for the longest
Yeah.
I was
time.
just like,
Don't
I was like,
remind
he knows from just right off the bat. Like he walks into a tournament, he's just like, character like 12. He knows it's uphill.
Although when I went to Japan in January and at pre-cooperation cup, when me and Team Tits we went up against the greatest 12-play team ever assembled. Those 12 players, I mean, I really thought I was going up against. They all look like 5 T1000s, dude. Like, they literally, like they were doing some shit. And, like it was just, they were literally robots, dude.
Yo,
Like
shout out
nothing.
to Robert
Talking about
Patrick,
Brown
he's
Dog,
a great
all
actor.
5 brown dogs.
Yeah,
That dude
the
just
brown
shit on that,
brown dog 619.
That dude is so committed.
It's like so committed. Like there's never been a time where I've never been online and just like honest God, there'll just be like me, and there'll be him, and
Yeah,
I'm just like, oh fuck it, let's just play.
dude. Like real quick story. Like I
I've loved
felt.
him and Sandy
Yeah.
and for the future, and a couple other guys like best of 5. And typically speaking, like more than likely I'm gonna get my ass handed to me,
Uh-huh.
or I'll like keep up.
Mhm.
But like Brown Dog, for some apparent reason, the dog is brown, bro. He's got it. Like I have a level of appreciation for him sticking it out, dog. It's
But
no pun
he
intended.
has, like, well, I mean, if you look at the leaderboards, he has like more games played than anybody.
Dude, I don't think 12 is the worst character in the game.
No, I'll go on a record right now and tell you that though he's unliked, like Sean, like granted, we won't even.
I mean, Co-op Cup. Was there
four? There was 4 Sean,
Yeah.
4 Sean.
They couldn't even get a full team.
But exactly. But dude, I give any 12 player and any Sean player the utmost respect if they're handing it to people. Like, it's amazing to watch. It's great to watch. Like, I love 12s downstairs. The whole like bowling ball yo-yo shit. Yo,
that move is so bad. Holy shit.
See, here's the thing, though, right? Like, everyone seems to agree that 12 is the worst character. But the thing is, like, going to Co-op Cup, if an all Sean team, like the 5 best Sean players, played the 5 of the best 12 players, I can't bet against the 12 team, dude. I don't know why I can't bet against the 12
It makes me feel good that the only time you'd bet for the 12 players would be against the Sean players. That's definitely that makes me feel so good inside right
like,
now.
logically, you would think that Sean is the better character because at least he's a Shoto, right?
To be honest,
but I don't think I would bet against the 12 team.
A character-esque will be more than likely in 5. Guaranteed.
Who cares?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Sean, I think, honestly, being like a Shoto works against him because it's like, well, anyone who wants to play a Shoto will just pick a better Shoto.
Uh-huh.
And anybody who sticks out with 12, it's like, well, you still know how to deal with a Shoto if it's just a Shoto, but he's bad.
Mm-hmm. And if you remember, there was an article that came out a few months ago where they were interviewing some of the programmers for Third Strike, and they admitted that they made Sean purposely crappy.
Well, yeah, because
they got
fucking 2-eye Sean.
Impact.
Yeah.
Second
Impact Sean was a problem.
Yeah, Second Impact Sean was a problem.
Second Impact. You do realize that, right?
Yeah. Did you see? I wonder if anyone ever made a hitbox of his Shoryu, but it's pretty ridiculous.
I don't even want to see that.
So,
dude, you do. So was godlike. That dude was godlike inside Second Impact. Sean was.
Yeah.
Like,
I appreciate a character that has moves that are disadvantage on hit. I mean, that's just manly.
So before we go into our first break, guys, I wanted to ask you a real specific question. So, you guys have talked a little bit about how you got into Third Strike and how it was just kind of like a friend thing. You guys just kind of started playing, and so what are you guys sort of trying to do now in terms of the game? Like, is there like a goal, or are you guys just continuing to play, or are you actively trying to sort of introduce new people to the game, or what's going on with that?
I mean, there's always you always have that goal because there's always some hard, weird shit you can learn. Like, I'm a Q and Alex player, so right now I'm like, I just want to be able to do Kara Capture Deadly Blow every time, whenever I want to, and that's not gonna happen anytime soon.
I mean, agreed. I mean,
it's just stuff like that. There's always like little things in your game that's like, I want to be able to do this because it's good. And like Rick, he's been playing Ken a long time, but he doesn't get car uppercuts all the time.
No,
so it's like you're always trying to just get better at the game. But as far as like with our streams, it's mostly just like the reason we started streaming is just like we played games all the time. And it was just like, I don't know, we'd have funny conversations. I'm like, I wish we could just archive all this stuff. So I was like, let's just start streaming, and then 6 years later,
what it
we
was.
got
Yeah,
all this
exactly.
shit.
So
I mean, as far like goals for the stream, it's just like, I don't know, it'd be nice to have more people in there watching, and doing tournaments is fun. That's a new thing.
Absolutely, yeah. That's, I mean, again, Yomicon was only the. I mean, I don't want to say it's only the beginning, but I mean, for us at least, I mean, we did take over that specific genre of fighting games for the Michigan scene. Like, I guess people kind of know who we are from Toronto, Windsor, Detroit, and the Pontiac scenes have already known that Poverty Game Night does what's known, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, they call it the old man games.
OMG.
I mean, that's what our buddy Jay.
And I'm not going to dispute it.
I mean, nor I, but I mean, at the same time, it's just like, we kind of handle the old man games. I mean, the classics, the games that developed what you see now, basically.
Yeah, and the reason we could do it is just like we had accrued so much hardware. We got the Super Gun, we got a bunch of arcade boards and stuff. It's like, yeah, I mean, we can just pack up, bring everything we have, and run at least,
a decent tournament.
10 to 20, 30, whatever man tournament.
Pretty much. I mean, we have the equipment for it, basically. But I mean, I mean, the overall goal, if I had to put one on myself for personally, I mean, yeah, it would be wonderful to help those trying to get into the scene. But at the same time, a little bit of me, I'm that guy that's just like those $3 bums. I love them $3 bums.
I mean, people come into our chat and ask questions. It's like, I mean, we know a lot about the game, so we'll answer stuff and be honest. Just like,
yeah, I mean,
not to be rude here, but I mean, if someone's like, "Oh, this Third Strike game seems cool. I want to play. I think I'll play 12." I'll be like, maybe don't start.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Take it from
like
me.
if you want to go back in time with Marty McFly and get it back into your machine and like start in like 2002 and be like, I think I want to play 12. Be like, good job. See you in like 14 years.
I wish I could go back in time to stop myself.
I mean, you probably would have been patting yourself. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to go back in time with my kids sometimes and be like, don't finish. don't finish.
Don't finish. Pull out.
Pull out.
Like,
Pull up.
Look,
Wrap it
but
up.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it would be great to actually bring on new people. I mean, Vince, a good friend of ours out of Cincinnati now.
Yeah, we met him at like our local.
We met him at
university.
we met him at our local university here at Saginaw Valley State University at one of the like little gatherings.
Yanagarassu real quick.
He was just like, "Oh man, you guys play Third Strike?" He played it. He showed us what he had, and the next thing you know, like he kind of got that speakeasy pat on the back. He was just like, "Yo, come to this address, and you'll be able to come in the door." It's just like that's pretty much what it was. And the next thing you know, boom, he just stopped going to SVSU. He was only coming to my house.
Nice. Well,
I mean, it would be great to grow.
I mean, he was good at fighting games beforehand, and he was all right at Third Strike. But definitely he was a new person. He came in, started playing with us, and he leveled up his game a lot. And then he went, he moved to Cincinnati, and he's down there, doing some work with Oro.
And to quote unquote, when he went to Chicago,
he went to Combo Breaker, and they're like, "You play really aggressive." He's like, "Oh man, Saginaw."
Yeah, exactly. He's just like the one guy just flat out told him, he's just like, "Man, you play really aggressive for an Oro player." He's like, "That's just Saginaw, man. Like, we'll just put it in your face, bro."
Wow. So we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break, but when we come back, I do want to talk more about your stream and how you started streaming at tournaments, because I always feel like to really help the Third Strike scene. I mean, there just needs to be more exposure. You know what I mean? Like more
absolutely.
people need to stream it, more people need to run it, more people need to promote it. And so when we come back from a short 2 to 3 minute break, I want to talk a little bit more about your experience, sort of streaming, but more specifically streaming at an event, because for those of you on the stream who didn't catch it, the Poverty Game Night boys, you guys did stream the Third Strike tournament at Umicon, which is a very big sort of anime convention, right? Last year. And so I definitely want to ask you guys what your experience was streaming that tournament and running it when we come back from the break. So once again, guys, this is the Mutant XPerience episode 3, and we're here live with Onagi and Buglehawk from the Poverty Game Night crew, and of course Farhad, aka 12 Eve. And so we're gonna take a quick break, but we'll definitely be back in a couple minutes. So stay tuned, guys. Cool.
And 3.
Puts lotion in the fucking basket.
All right, guys. Welcome back to the Mutant XPerience. For those of you who are just tuning in, this is episode 3, and tonight we have our special guests, the boys from Poverty Game Night, aka KO Arcade, Rick on the left, aka Unagi, and Bugle Hawk, aka Steve on the right. And also we have in the house tonight, Farhad for Jose.
Firuza.
I'm trying to find out all the different ways I can mispronounce your name.
Oh shit!
AKA
Believe me,
aka 12 Leave. So now that we're back, guys, I wanted to ask you a little bit. I wanted to ask you guys to talk a little bit more about your experience streaming. Again, you guys had before the break, you guys had talked a little bit about how you just kind of like on a spur of the moment just decided to start streaming. You guys playing Third Strike, but then last year. And I think YumaCon was like in November, October?
Yep.
Beginning of November. It's usually
beginning of November.
It's usually during like Halloween.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
within
but it was
the
like
week
a
of
little
Halloween.
later, so it was the beginning of November.
You guys took the monumental step of you took
that was huge, dude. I mean,
yeah, you took the monumental step of deciding
when,
to run and stream Third Strike at YumaCon. So tell us a little bit about how that came about. Like, why did you guys decide to all of a sudden decide to run and stream Third Strike?
Well, I mean, to begin with, like, why was it we actually decided to even run the tournament, let alone just run what it was, is I guess it really stems back to a level of saltness, okay?
Okay.
A little bit of curation.
A little bit of the brine, if you will say. There was a level of brine that was going on, and that was with the fact that 2 years prior, or a year prior, before when we actually did it, just last year.
YumaCon 2015.
2015. They had their setup was a PS3, an LCD monitor, and that was all you got.
Wow.
Wow.
That's disgusting.
Thank you, exactly.
Okay, so we were all excited before this because
we
went to the two YumaCons before that, and we had a really good time because they have a big arcade room, and it's a great time, a lot of great machines. They have head-to-head Third Strike. They always bring it. And we were like, oh, fuck it, we'll go and basically just sit on that cabinet for 3 days.
Which is what we did.
And that was fun. And then we find out 2015, they're going to do a Third Strike tournament. It's PS3, but whatever, do what you got to do. We basically owned that cabinet, the previous 2 years.
Saginaw, for the last 3 years, has always owned that cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
And to get back into that, basically, is that the setup they had that were running the tournament, again, we're not trying to bash. I understand what's going on here. I realize that there's a level of simplicity and a level of keeping things.
I mean,
turning.
They ran it on the same hardware that they did all the other games.
Exactly.
Like modern stuff, Street Fighter 4 and whatever.
But, dude, I'm telling you, I got bodied so hard by Chris G. I got double P'd.
Yeah, you can find that replay out there
I'm
somewhere.
sure you can.
In 2015.
They weren't playing the same game.
I was trying to play the game. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Maybe
it was like an old bad LCD.
I mean, maybe I was trying to like parry things 24 hours in advance. Or maybe I was just an hour late.
The best way to look is like, okay, you can look at our streams of like us playing on hardware, or even console, whatever. Us playing against each other, like from our stream, and then you compare that to when we played each other in that tournament.
And it was just,
which I went 2-2. I beat up 2 people I've never fought before, and got beat by 2 people I fight all the time. So that was fun. But it's like our level of play was like so much fucking lower just because of this really bad LCD.
It was so hot ass.
And then you played Rusty on one of the PS3s had fucking system direction on.
Oh yeah. So
What?
my first match
What the
was
fuck?
a buddy of mine out of Ann Arbor, really good CVS2 player.
Shout out to Ann Arbor.
Easy.
Though.
And we're playing against each other, and I was able to cancel EX uppercut into fireball into super.
What?
And I looked at him and I'm like, because granted, Rusty's not a Third Strike player. And I looked at him laughing like, Joe, I was allowed to do that?
Your opponent was probably like, yeah, that's
you're
like
not
BNB,
allowed to do
right?
that. He's like, what? That looks normal to me. I'm like, no, You're not supposed to do that. And then like I went and looked at the settings.
If we knew it was assistant director, man, you can go ham. You can do some stuff.
Yeah, I would have got godlike with Dudley real quick. Oh, but it was just like the setup they had did not show any type of homage or I think it's the word homage or even homage.
I don't know what you're trying to get at.
Needless to say, it did not show any type of respect for the game at all. Yeah. There was no level of respect. It was just like, here's third strike, peanut butter.
Also, so if you find the replays of that tournament, we all showed up in suits because we were there to do business.
Yeah.
Inspired by that one team.
From co-op. Yeah, the guys in the suits
hand out the business cards. But and you will see us chugging alcohol. You'll see us with the water. You got the water bottle?
Thanks for the reminder.
So you'll see us in the background just like.
Yeah, these water bottles.
So
there was alcohol in those water bottles.
Oh, bro.
Full.
There was just
what type
there was
of
a
alcohol?
level of intoxication that just went from like 0 to 10-fold.
So like,
because we were so mad at the setup they had, we were like, dude, we could have done better than that. We would have bring a TV, a tube television.
And this was 2015, right?
So that was really the ambition.
Okay.
And granted, it was a pretend.
Mm-hmm.
It was just really us just going like, joking around.
That was some bullshit. I blacked out that night, you know. Apparently,
that happened.
I was blackout drunk while on the third strike cabinet.
What?
That also happens.
I have to take his word.
He was buying.
I don't think I've ever passed out on the third strike cab.
I may have had 1 or 2 nights.
Like this is Steve right here. This is Steve on the cab, retarded drunk, like literally doing this and just over here.
Hey, man.
And
it's not the first time I've been that drunk on a third strike cab.
Exactly.
Like I've been on his cabinet. I've definitely been like, because there's one of them is a stand up, and I'm like using it to keep myself.
Thank God there was
up,
lag bolts holding the controller, the joystick in point, because like he was using the joystick to hold himself up. But I mean, no, seriously, I mean,
I was charging, man. I was getting my down backs with Q.
Charge partitioning. But I mean, it was just the fact that they had a horrible setup. The monitor, again, what they had there was...
The sad thing is the monitor they had for the stream was the worst of them.
It was just like,
the
wow.
ones for like the side...
The latency was just so bad.
Great,
I mean, we were just like, wow, I cannot believe how savage this TV is right now. It was absurd.
Like savage in a bad way.
Yeah. Blame it on the screen. Don't blame it on what you're playing on. Learn to adapt. And I'm like...
You can't adapt. I mean, you can't adapt throughout the course of a tournament to a laggy.
I was just like, the only thing I could really had actually gone ahead and adapt to was adapt to down back, and that's not me. That's not my style. I'm not gonna down back on nobody.
And this was 2015, right?
I know. Yeah, I'd be like, yo, pull up that Jackie Chan. I know, punk bitch. You know. But I think it's like that. Fuck that.
So months later. We hear from Jay, Yace, Mr. You Suck. He plays Guilty Gear mostly.
Yeah. He's a guy for Yumacon.
He was running a bunch of tournaments in Yumacon 2015. Probably did them before that too. And he's like, hey, the tournament budget on Twitter. He's like, hey, the tournament budget for Yumacon. Well, I mean, he's like, it's gone. Like we basically have nothing. So it's a community thing.
What does that mean?
It's gone.
He's like,
it disappeared.
It's community driven.
If we could send all these people to evil with GoFundMe's, I'm sure we could start a fucking tournament.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, like there's no way Pokken players have money, right?
No,
like how did they raise?
not.
How did they raise to scams?
Oh, here's how they raise it. Mom, Dad,
taking the credit card. But
okay, I'm sorry. Shout out to Pokken.
I just replied to that, like, hey, we have like the super gun and stream equipment and all this shit. Like we'll run some classic games. I don't know the thing I used. If you want us to, I mean, we're going to be there anyway. Because we go every year. It's a fun time. And so that's basically how that happened. I was just like, hey, we can do this. He's like, okay, cool. You can run, old man games. Let us know what you want to play. So I told him, well, third strike, that's non-negotiable. We're always going to do third strike.
You're damn right.
God bless.
3DS life,
and
baby.
then CVS 2 because we wanted to rescue get some money.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically,
Get that money. That's that motto. Get that money.
Guy on a different level than anybody else who entered that.
Yeah.
And then I figured, hey, we got the Naomi. Let's run Marvel vs. Capcom 2. There's people that like
There's
that,
people in
right?
Detroit that like to yell at people really loud and look at comic book characters that beat each other up.
Well, we were wrong. We were wrong.
You're totally wrong.
2 people signed up for that game. So the tournament at YomaCon
Was a money
2016
match.
was a money match.
Wow.
I'm sure it was an epic money match.
Oh, Michigan Masters, we ain't doing that shit.
Yeah.
They had their chance.
Uh-huh.
And then Breaker's Revenge, because apparently there's like some people down in
There's
Detroit
a real
that think
niche-
Breakers is cool, and I like Breaker's Revenge. That's a fun game.
Uh-huh.
There's a real niche scene apparently that just is towards Windsor or the deep parts of Detroit.
I think it's just like a lot of the anime guys like that game because it's simple and goofy.
okay, can't go wrong with that. I mean,
I don't know. That game is super fun.
I'm still waiting for Evo to start up that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tournament fighters because my Michelangelo is going hard.
Dude,
So,
I am convinced if Tournament Fighters was in the player vote, Marvel would have stood a chance.
So that would
Wow.
yo,
Way.
they have a
no
Turtles
way.
4 movie. Telling you right now.
There is a Turtles
They would
fanatic
make a
out
Turtles
there.
4.
There is a Turtles fanatic out there who has like pharmacy boy money that would have threw in like 20 grand.
Of fucking Corey Feldman or whatever
Right.
was in there.
He would
they'll sell that.
he would have
Use the
thrown
proceeds.
20 grand the first
Leave it.
day the vote opened, and then another 20 grand the last day, dude.
Yo, I would sell my original kung fu bag, aka golf bag for Casey Jones.
Dude, imagine if Tournament Fighters was in the player vote.
Forearm pressure right now.
There's a
Hashtag
reason why
forearm
Evo
pressure.
didn't include that game, dude. There's a reason. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so I mean, we shout out to our boy Jay,
Uh-huh.
and he was just like, yeah, you guys can take over that portion of the tournament. And we were like, damn, well, I guess that shit's official. So we just we were like,
Okay.
As is all old man game streamers go.
Fair enough.
well, I guess we've been doing it for 5+ years. We were like, well, fuck it, we'll just try it.
Uh-huh.
So we were like, all right, what are the essentials? What are we bringing? Well, we got to have an inch PVM for a commentary table.
Okay.
Yes, yo, we're talking like WrestleMania style, bro.
Uh-huh.
We brought a 27, right?
We
27-inch
bought a 27-inch Wega,
Uh-huh.
the Super Gun, a CPS 3,
Uh-huh.
a CPS 2.
Uh-huh.
We didn't have CPS
No,
2 at the
excuse me.
time, or it wasn't done.
Nope, there was a Naomi, full setup Naomi,
Wow.
Neo.
and a Neo Geo MVS board. And yeah, we were just down to just do work. It was just time to make strides, basically.
And then all the stream equipment. So we just it was a whole bunch of shit.
To tell you what our
We
banner is,
had to bring
here goes what our banner was. Hold on, let me go grab it real quick.
All right.
This was our banner.
Hold on,
This was our banner.
This is how people found us.
I took this sleeve
Wow.
and I tied it around. I think it was
the card.
It was a hotel card. And then I went over here. And I took this sleeve. I tied it around another part of the hotel card. I had to look at it.
Yeah.
That's a great banner.
So
It was just
they
like
got there.
it was just like
They got what
well,
they needed to see.
apparently
It's bright as fuck.
I
so
mean,
they could see it.
it
From
worked
as far away
out.
as
Like when we
possible,
were just
but-
like yelling at people, like, "Yo, come to the PGN booth with the giant Nickelodeon orange sweater." It
Dude,
worked out.
like
Getting it?
I just want to say something like,
Go
it's like last NEC, like I kind of got choked up a little bit because I was setting up the stream for Jamma City because at NEC this is Third Strike ran Third Strike ST and Vampire Savior, and we had been running Third Strike at Big E. Shout outs to Big E for supporting and Tony Majors for supporting the Old Man games. So we had been running Old Man games like yourself. We've been only running Old Man games for about a year and a half. And then, like, all of a sudden, Eric comes up to us and says, "Yeah, man, like they're gonna construct a backdrop for you."
Oh man.
And I was,
Wow.
and I had the feels there for a second because I was like, "Wow, we got a backdrop! Like we made it." we
I
have
agree
a
with you.
we had
backdrop.
fucking projectors.
So,
in our eyes. It
dude,
was
maybe
great.
in UMACon 2019, maybe you guys
19?
will have a backdrop. Maybe you guys will actually have an official backdrop waiting for you. I just,
Well-
it was, I don't know, it was just a benchmark.
I mean, that's awesome. That's cool as hell. But I mean, what's crazy is that like everything you see that we've ever done or ever produced, ever went live with, I mean, is literally our own, our own hands, our own funding.
Yeah.
I mean, to be all honest with you guys, the craziest part that I've ever experienced while producing what we've done in the last probably 5 years was the day that John walked up to me, and this is no lie about this. Steve will contest to this shit. John literally handed over to me probably close to about $250 in cash.
Whoa.
And was like, you built the super gun, you bought the CPS-3, and the only thing we were missing was a capture device. And he was like, gave us out of his hard-earned cash, which was at the time his tax money, he was like, here you go. He didn't bat an eye. He didn't look twice at me. He was just like, Rick, you're our boy. Steve's got the tech knowledge. Get that money. And we were just like, I guess we're about to do live streaming.
Wow. Yeah, because like before that, whenever we did stream, it was just off on emulator. You know? Like the first time we streamed goes well with the name Poverty Game Night. I think the first game we streamed was Avengers and Galactic Storm. That game's a good one.
But he literally handed me like $250 in straight cash. Didn't even bat an eye twice at it. It was just like, yo, you built it, we're coming, and let's just show the world what's up. Let's see what we can do. And here we are today. Steve got like an Elgato for Christmas like 2-3 years ago, and that's what we're rocking right now. And we're just looking to progress forward. I mean, we just want to make sure that the good world knows that there are people and small communities out there that use real motherfucking hardware.
We gotta get that
on real tube TVs that they break their backs for. I went to Harbor Freight and bought myself a damn little board rack dolly, whatever the hell you want to call it, a push card to hold the TVs, because people looked at me like I was crazy. And I'm like,
we ain't dealing with that.
I ain't dealing with latency. I ain't dealing with latency. See me on the tube. See me on the tube.
And then, like, you just saw him in the clip you showed earlier. The guy who won the Third Strike tournament, Mako Flash.
Yeah, good friend of mine, John.
Yeah, he came up after the tournament. He's like, man, I just can't thank you guys enough. Like, you came here, you brought all the shit, you made all this happen, and that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, Mako Flash right there in the stripes with the blue and the yellow right there. He was the grand winner of the tournament there. But I tell you what, man.
And that's John playing the Euro.
Yeah, that's our good friend John, who's a
put
big,
down the money for the stream.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, actually, matter of fact, speaking of put down money, John actually went ahead and actually put his own hard earnings.
Put up
$50.
Well, yeah, it was going to be $200 for pop bonuses, but since no one fucking entered Marvel, it was $150. Granted, he won a lot of that back because he
but he put his own money. Our group is so like we're so tight that my man just went ahead and walked up to us. He's like, what's crazy about it is like he literally did it the day of the tournament. He walked right up to us.
No time to
he's like, yo, Rick, Steve, come here, man. He was like, hey, man, I just want to let you know, I kind of feel like we need to like just, ante some stuff up. And we're like, well, what are you talking about, John? He goes, I think I got some money I can play with, and I want to give some pop bonuses for our group. I was like, for PGN. And I'm like, okay, John, what are you talking about? I was like, I mean, I'm broke. Like, I ain't got shit to offer.
Yeah, you got three kids. You shouldn't be giving nothing.
At me like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about because I ain't got no cash. It's like, Johnny just looks at us and goes, I got $200, $50 a game, pop bonus. We're like, cool. Well, sure, man. I mean, again, the same guy that, can't give the guy enough respect, man. I mean, the dude, though he's not here today, I mean, he's really with us. He's out there getting his grind on his Jimmy John money. But the dude for real just coughed up like 50 stacks per game. And like I said, we had a great turnout.
I'm glad he did because I placed third in Breaker's Revenge. If he had not put in that pop bonus, I would have broken even. But since he did, I made $2.
Nice. That's a soda.
I mean, the experience-wise, will we do it again? Yeah, we're gonna do it here in April, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest downfall,
I think we're getting gas money this time.
I mean, those that are looking to start running their own tournaments and streams, or at least the tournaments, buy a megaphone.
Oh God, yeah.
Cannot or build
Can't
one.
stress that enough.
Yo, buy a megaphone because I lost my voice by the time we got to the third game, and we did an 11-hour stream that was nonstop. There was like some small breaks to help promote the actual.
We didn't handle signups, but other than that, we did everything. They just gave an Excel spreadsheet with things, and like we ran the bracket. We
used challenged and kind of went through with everything.
It was super stressful, but I
mean, it was a learning experience.
Okay.
It was a learning experience.
I think dedicated person running the bracket and yelling at people or using a megaphone, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then dedicated people on the mic.
What was nice is that we had
games.
4 guys.
Like, there's definitely ways we can improve, but I think it turned out as well as it could have.
For the most part, I mean, we had myself, Steve, John, and our buddy Vince from Cincinnati all rotating within commentary. So there was constant talk. It was good. Might not have been the best. I mean, we knew what we were talking about for the most part, but I mean, overall, I give it about like say a solid B+ for experience. I mean, something that we have, which we would assume is going to be a better crowd because it's again more niche towards the actual tournament.
Fighting game.
It's a tournament. You're not going there because, yo, dude, there's furries and cosplay and some badass bitches that are like half-ass naked, dressed up like anime, and I'm about to get down.
Hey, you want to go to Youmacon, go to the game room, watch some anime girls play some DDR. I mean, no one's gonna hold it against you.
I mean, stuff's gonna bounce. Just to say that. You know what I'm saying?
I wanted to get your thoughts on this, guys, because this is just me, but I feel like the FGC, is at a certain point in time where I feel like the new players, like, you guys may be able to attest to this, but it gets to the point where, like, the game that you play is so fucking old that it starts being cool.
Oh yeah, you're talking about hipsters.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like I went to H&M like a couple weeks ago, and because my wife likes to shop there, so so I went down there and I saw a bunch of like band T-shirts, right, like Nirvana, AC/DC, and I was like, oh cool, they have band shirts. And then I'm going through the stacks and I noticed the first shirt I grabbed, I noticed, hey man, it's fucking ripped on the collar and shit. And I'm like, oh, it must be a fucking defect, And so then I looked for another shirt and it had the same defect. And I kept looking through the same shirts, and H&M fucking sells shirts that are purposely fucking ripped in the collar to make it seem like
it's been worn,
like it's been worn and shit. The reason I
like
mentioned
you
that,
grabbed it out of homeboy's closet.
Yeah,
he just read it through like, yo, right? Sorry guys, I was skateboarding with that shirt on,
and of course the shirt's like $20, right?
Of course.
Right.
And so. The reason I brought that up is because, like, I think it's gotten to the point where the FGC, where like old games are kind of they're cool because they're old now. You know what I mean?
I guess people are getting tired of like Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5 is just trash.
But it gets to the point where it's like the FGC has enough history where it's like people kind of want to look back and see, hey, where did the FGC come from? Where were the roots and stuff like that? And I always felt like last year. This is gonna sound weird, but I went to my first ever video game convention. And it was shout outs to Jersey. The convention I went to was another video game con, AVGC. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. But I went there with Nika KO, and I always felt as though one of the ways that maybe I always felt like these two communities, right, like the I guess what we would call the old school, like the poverty gamers, right, and then like the FGC, like because a lot of the poverty gamers, right, they're part of the FGC, but then there's this whole other video game community, right, like that's into retro gaming, and I always feel like they're never like together, but one of the reasons why I find you guys so interesting is it seems like you guys are sort of trying to bridge that gap, So what do you feel about, how, poverty gamers can sort of, is there, could that be a way that we could, stay relevant, maybe embrace that, because you guys did a tournament at Umicon, right? So, how do you see that working in terms of running tournaments at video game conventions that are predominantly geared towards people who like retro gaming?
I will say the coolest thing that I didn't notice, and granted, I'm sure from a Smash scene, they would be like, oh, hey, yeah, we're used to that. But from an FGC or a hardcore FGC fan that's predominantly raised by your Street Fighter 2 and so on. What was hilarious was the fact that when you looked across the tables for the tournament, okay, it was like LCD, 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 and then we were just like, oh, hold on, give me a second. We're just like, here's this 27-inch Neanderthal television.
Yeah, like
a cube.
Like any.
And we were just like,
yeah.
We got you guys.
We also brought the quality, man, because we had the components, so it looked really good.
Oh yeah, everything was
no
there.
No offense, Smash players, but a lot of those guys,
playing composite.
You play in composite because the fucking component cables for GameCube are like $200.
Not to mention
so
rare as fuck.
If you're on composite, any Disney Princess TV is good enough for you, I guess.
But it was just hilarious because from a retro standpoint, it felt good just to have that big ass cancer-induced television that was just pouring out radiation. But I don't know. I mean, from a retro standpoint, I mean it's cool. I mean you're starting to see that trend. But the biggest thing you start to see is people go, "Oh man, you play Third Strike? It's a thing. That's a thing. I
don't know how many times every time we went to Umicon, not even when we were just sitting on the cabinet and stuff, people would be like, "Oh man, Third Strike, that's my favorite Street Fighter." It's like, "Oh cool, man, you want to play it?" They're like, "Nah,
I'm not good."
and a lot of those people, right? Like Steve, a lot of those players, they're not part of the regular FGC scene.
People who played Street Fighter back in the day, they like it, but they're not competitive players, and I get that. But it's definitely hard to bridge the gap because I remember one year there was a Garo cabinet.
Oh yeah,
and it's
quick flashback.
There's two guys playing, and I just I'm standing behind watching them play or whatever, because Garo is cool. And they're like, "Oh hey, you want to play?" It's like, "Yeah, sure." And then fucking beat them up so bad, and it's just I can't not do taunt cancels. And then they went a couple rounds and then they walked away, and then I was like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and see if someone else comes along and wants to play. End up single player, beat the game. Then I get up, go back to Third Strike or whatever, and then I look back over and they're back there. I'm like, man, you just said hey, you're just a little too. I'm not gonna have fun playing you. I don't have a grudge for him because I was like, if you're not having fun, I'm not gonna want to do this all night where I'm just playing people that I'm beating up bad.
Yeah, it's like EXO. He goes to Magfest and he gets a 200 game winning streak.
Congrats.
I got a 32 game winning streak at Umicon at the Third Strike cabinet.
But I guess the point I was trying to make is that
but a couple of those people in the tournament.
Yeah, a couple of those guys actually entered the tournament, and they were just literally, it was 4 guys who entered the tournament, sat on the other side of the cabinet, and I just played Hugo, and I won 31 streaks, and my buddies are over here playing CVS 2 and some other shit, and then I'm just calling out the weirdest shit, yo, body splash, clap clap, walk in, Tachi Geigas, and shit would just happen.
They got hype about it because they knew enough about the game to
they understood what was going on. Yeah, exactly. So they were just holy shit, or oh fuck, or low parry low parry into full parry chunk super going to Geiges breaker. It's just
honestly, that wasn't as bad as the year before where you're jumping up to parry all the hits and rocket uppercut.
That was hilarious. There's a good historical moment in the PGN crew. So we're playing on the arcade 3S versus City in that, and this kid's playing Dudley with rocket uppercut, and I had just learned how to jump up after the last parry
and then parry
to grab parries in the air and then land and do full punish, aka sick.
Sick.
And I went up and
just did it to the guy a bunch of times. He's like, "How do you know what I'm gonna do before I do it?"
I was just yo, dude, this shit's just you option select.
It's also just you might be on the other side of head-to-head cap, but you can see in their eyes when they're going to wake up super.
You know when they're waking up super, dude.
But yeah,
You know this.
the reason I brought that up is because, again, you guys did the tournament Yumacon. Because I feel like, in the past few years, and maybe Farhad, you can, sort of add to this. But like, whatever scene you're from, right? Whether it's the ST scene or the Third Strike scene or the Vampire Savior scene, we always seem like we're trying to sort of recruit players from within the FGC.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
you will see like younger players
you're trying to convert
picking up
people,
like vampires and stuff.
But
it does happen.
I guess
but you don't see a lot of people coming from outside, right?
Yeah, and I guess my point is, could there be, is there sort of an untapped community that we can sort of, target, to get more people, like for example, like the retro gaming community, because I had a similar experience at AV, at another video game con, Tony Majors. And Tony Majors, shout out to Tony Majors. For those of you who don't know who Tony Majors is, he's a guy who lives in North Carolina, and he goes to different events, not just fighting game majors, but he also goes to video game conventions. And he takes his big rig truck, and he just takes all of his arcade cabs, and he just sets them up there. And he's been doing this for years.
Oh, that's
and he's been going to these video game conventions for years. And that sort of gave me the thought, like, maybe as Third Strike players, maybe there's a different community that we can attract players from, as opposed to just, focusing on the FGC.
I think we're kind of intimidating, though.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's exactly what I was thinking. A lot of people are just scared.
Yeah, absolutely. I would completely agree with the both of you. That there's a level of...
But the fact that you guys would even run a tournament at those events is like an olive branch, right? It's like one of those,
Yeah.
I mean, we were told...
Had fighting game stuff.
We were under the impression that Detroit had a scene.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a popular game at one point in time. I mean, there are some individual players that enjoy playing it. There were a couple of players, for instance, that took to our play style and wanted to learn from it. I mean, I couldn't sit here and tell you how many times it was when I was playing Hugo that people were just like, how did you pick him up?
Mm-hmm.
How did you learn how to play him? Hey, man, I watched you in the Max video.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got a lot of people in our stream because of that. And, like, a lot of them are, like, I mean, they're not hardcore fighting game people. And so they ask a lot of questions and, like, we'll answer stuff.
I'm not going to sound like, I'm not going to make myself sound like elitist. I will never be like, holy shit, like, you're a solid bum. I mean, yeah, there's things that I say when I'm on my stream, that may, sound inappropriate or in any way or form like disrespectful, whatever, dude. But at the same time, if someone were to really approach me from a fighting game fan to another fighting game fan and say, hey, man, I would love to get into this game, but I have no idea where to really start. I mean, sure, like I'm a Shoto guy.
And if they
grab a Shoto.
If they have the 360 or PS3 version and we're on that, or just like fucking get on ranked, we'll either run into you or we'll get into a room. Like if you want to play, it's fine.
I'll give you some. We'll give you some criticism. We'll just say, hey, but going back to what you were talking about, there is a level that people go, yo, man, that's the Third Strike community. You don't fuck with them, dude. Those cats know what they're doing. Like as soon as they see somebody parry something 3 or 4 times, they're like,
whoa,
we ain't messing with that dude. Like, yo,
it's like I can parry Hadouken, but what is this guy
doing?
Like
this dude's alternating between parries? Like,
I mean, that's just showing off. Right?
Yeah, it's just like, yo, just like, oh, yo, that dude just red parried 720? Yo, like that guy's just like looking at you like,
but
like, I can't do that, man. Like, but it's not a matter that you shouldn't tell yourself that you can do it. It's a matter of telling yourself, I want to get to that level.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, when we started out, we didn't do anything. We just watched a lot of Japanese videos and we're like, hey, that's really cool. Let's try and do that stuff. But as far as, I don't know, I feel like as far as retro, like people are into retro games and like fighting games, but like aren't jumping into playing them competitively. I feel like it's more like the newer games are the ones that actually get the crossover of like, oh, I'm going to start playing fighting games. Like they'll start playing 5. And then after they've gotten bored with that or, whatever, they'll be around people playing older stuff and they'll get into that, Because, I mean, there are a lot of younger players of a lot of older games. I mean, I don't even consider myself, like an OG or anything, like I said.
No, not at all.
Like, I didn't
Got it off.
I didn't go to tournaments and stuff.
I'll turn 33 this July. I don't consider myself, old man. I'm a grown man. I got bills. I
You're
got
a grown
responsibilities.
man. There's a difference between being grown and old.
Yeah. Old men have arthritis.
I mean, it's funny how people are just like label you. Oh, you're gonna play the old man games. It's like, yeah, I play old man games. Sure. I mean, I love my Alpha 2, my Alpha 1, and my ST and my Third Strike. But I mean, I don't know. It's just like you don't see those individuals really go ahead. They're the people that like to watch, and then you know what they immediately do? They applaud, and then they go, "Man, that must have took fucking 15 years to learn." You're just like, well, Jesus, of course it did. I mean, I know what not to do and what to do.
Yeah.
I
don't blame anybody who's like, it's just too intimidating. Like, I feel that way about every new fighting game.
Absolutely.
Like, that's just too much shit to learn. Like, I kind of want to play KOF 14, but there's 50 fucking characters in that game.
Yeah.
Not to mention,
I gotta learn 2,000 matchups.
Been like, hey guys, did you guys study season 2 of Third Strike? Nah, homie. There's no such thing as season 2.
That is one huge advantage old man games have though, is like they're done. They're how they are, and they're gonna be that way.
Adapter,
whereas,
get the fuck out.
Oh man, I'm gonna learn Guilty Gear, and then 6 months later there's a new version, and you gotta start over. And
or like, for example, like all of a sudden, like you can just, I don't know, like SF5, you can just EX through everything, and then by the way, just hit jab right afterwards, and I'm on advantage. Yeah, I would love to see. As a matter of fact, I have been noticing this. And this is a slight trend, and Steve will agree with me, and maybe even the both of you guys would agree with you. As soon as a downloadable character is available or going to be available on SF5, there is a month or 3 week span before that character gets released that you see him or people playing that character on Third Strike. So, for example, like when Orion was getting released, he was the flavor of the month on Third Strike.
Oh, for
people were just like, "Oh, I gotta pick up on this Orion guy because he's gonna be good."
It happened with Alex. It happened with Ibuki. It happened with Urian. I don't even know who else is in that.
Absolutely.
But every time it was just like, okay, I play a lot of bad of these.
I got one thing to tell everybody that plays SF5. Go ahead and EX tackle me in Third Strike and see if that shit don't get punished.
I guess another reason why I brought up the retro community, Rick, is because you had said earlier on the podcast that almost everything in your garage you built yourself. And I feel like for the Third Strike community to survive, and for people who've watched me on the stream, this is gonna sound pretty old hat because I just kind of keep repeating myself. I'm a teacher by as a living, so that sort of happens. But anyway, I'm my main concern, because I love the game so much. How is it going? Can we keep it around in the future? You know what I mean? Because eventually we're gonna stop. And so I guess one of the reasons
just not work anymore.
I guess one of the reasons why I brought up the retro community is because there's so many different ways to contribute to the Third Strike community. Not just playing it, but like, and the reason I brought up the retro community is because I know nothing about the retro community, up until last year. But these guys are so passionate about hardware and building stuff and keeping things and sort of archiving things and so forth and so on. And so for example, Third Strike, right? The Third Strike purist wants to play arcade perfect Third Strike, and so don't we need more people to whether or not they actually contribute by playing? What if there's a guy that goes to this retro video game convention and they see Third Strike and they're like, but they're interested in another way, maybe, keeping the game alive in terms of hardware, like.
I'd love to see someone who's into it.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm going to code that arcade perfect emulator for CPS3. Like, that would be awesome.
I just feel like my point is like, there's so many different ways to contribute to the Third Strike community as opposed to just playing it.
I don't know if the kind of people who have passion for, let's say, keeping the Mega Man genre alive are the same type of people who really care about, FGC stuff. Let's not even talk about Third Strike, but just competitive fighting game playing.
But then when we go to these retro video game conventions, like you even admitted, Rick, Steve, random people will come up and go, "Hey, that's Third Strike." You know, how do they know about the game?
I mean, there's a level of hype, but I think it really with all due respect to everybody else that's out there, that's maybe played the game prior before 04. Maybe it wasn't 04. Excuse me. Maybe, what year was it? Was it 2002? Was the year of the Dio moment, the Evo moment?
It was 04.
It was 04.
Whatever.
What year was that?
04.
04.
04.
I was there live.
Think about it. When you sit back and just hear anybody's interviews, hear anybody talking about the game, or hear anybody from the FGC say why it was they got into it. I'm going to go so far as to lean on roughly 95% of the people will tell you that one of the reasons why they got into fighting games was for that hype moment. And a lot of it stems back to the fact that what I feel a lot of people don't give a lot of respect to, and that is Third Strike really created what hype we have today and why it is that we're actually at the Mandalay Bay or fucking down in Las Vegas the way we are. You really think about it, that particular moment in history made what it is that we all see today, and what we're able to just simply go to our computer or our phone or whatever the case may be and go, man, I'm going to go watch Evo because I know some crazy stuff's about to go down towards the grand finals, or some stuff that's at another level that I either A, have strived for over these last years, or at the same time I'm hoping to be at in a sense. But I think really that whole retro standpoint goes back to say, yeah, you pay homage to it, but at the same time, a lot of it just goes back from the FGC to go, well, the Evo moment really made the FGC. They really did.
Yeah, I definitely say, probably the best thing you could probably do to make people care about these old games is to play them and do cool shit. It's stupid to us at this point talking about the Maximilian double perfect thing. I don't know if you guys are aware.
Yeah, you guys are both aware of the video, right?
To be completely honest, and this is not to throw shade at Maximilian, but I have not watched a single Maximilian video ever.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not a fan or anything. But so he was streaming Third Strike online at one point, and we were getting drunk at my brother's house. And
nice.
So since we were doing that,
another topic we have to. I don't want to interrupt Steve real quick, but another thing we have to talk about, maybe in a future podcast, is why is Third Strike always associated with substance abuse?
Shit! I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Because you're over the age of 21,
right? It really is.
I definitely play better when I'm fucked up.
Okay, go ahead. You can continue, Steve. Sorry, I just.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I don't know why. They just go well together.
And then Rick takes a sip of his beer.
3 to 5, my parrying is better. But, so yeah, there's, Maximilian was streaming Third Strike. It was one of the nights we weren't streaming it ourselves, because we were at my brother's getting drunk, but he does have a nice CRT television and a 360 there.
Damn right.
And
CRT.
So we're drinking, we're like, let's play Third Strike. So Rick logs online and starts playing, and he gets in a game with Maximilian, and then
I beat him, and then next minute you know,
so you fuck him up, and then he invites him to a room.
I get invited, and I just told myself in the back of my head, I'm like, I bet you he's probably streaming this game. It wouldn't surprise me. Or I told myself it would be funny if he's streaming this game, and I was able to produce a perfect on the first go, and
you double perfect him. Maximilian
on the opening
Urian,
round.
Wow.
Rick was playing Hugo, and he double perfected him with Hugo. Did I think a Tachi or two in there?
Yep.
And
because Taki is so easy to do, right?
This happens. We're just getting drunk. You'll see if you watch his whole video.
Maybe we
whole
can
video
look it
of this thing.
Maybe we can find it.
Rick's play falls off a cliff, and that's just because at that point we're the
level of intoxication
really
goes from
got
about
drunk.
4 to about roughly 8 in about an hour. But on camera with gameplay, when you see me select Ken,
yeah, it was already over.
We didn't know what the fuck we were drinking.
And it was just this funny thing. Like, we didn't think a whole lot of it. Like, we kind of recognized the name or whatever.
Yeah, we knew who he was.
But then I wake up the next day and it's like, you have like 150 emails from Twitch of new followers. I'm like, the fuck did we do? We didn't even stream last night.
Like honest God, his phone got blown up. It got blown up. Like, we were just sitting there. He text messaged me the next day. He's like, Rick, you never believe I got like 100 plus emails. We're the person to watch right now. I'm like, I doubt that, man. Whatever, man. And then next thing you know, over the course of roughly 6 months, not even 3 months, like, we're just streaming out of my basement, playing 3S, online edition, and
people just come in the chat like, hey, you're the guy from the Max video.
Hey, man, you're Ona guy or a Naga or
Nagai.
Onomatopoeia or whatever your name is. I'm like, yeah, I'm the guy that beat Maximilian. Yeah. They're like, cool, man, cool. And then history was made. And
so it's like, okay, it was a hype moment. Like, not everybody cares about Maximilian, but a lot of people that do are like only kind of into fighting games, and like it was a hype moment that got people into it. So I don't know. I think that sort of thing helps. But Rick has also had online run-ins with like more notorious people. Like, one time, it was like before we had started our stream, we always like to get a couple matches in to make sure there's people online. And I guess Rick beat the fuck out of Low Tier God.
Oh God!
And it was like, we didn't know that happened, but like I guess later,
I need Low Tier God on the podcast.
Went back with the archives, and he was just bitching up a storm like, oh, he's not even that good of a Ken or whatever. It's like, okay, dude.
Why not? Why shouldn't I have Low Tier God on the podcast?
You don't want to have him on the podcast.
The Low Tier. Oh, you're not.
You don't.
The Low Tier God.
Dude, I would make partnership. I just need him on one podcast.
Your own podcast, and your screen right now. He'd be like, "Yo, Mutant X, get that ass banned."
I don't know, man. I think I would love to have Low Tier God.
I would definitely have to be incredibly fucked up to be.
Well, we'll do Irish car bombs before we have.
I'm gonna need a fucking Irish truck bomb or something.
You kind of brought it up, Rick, a little bit, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this because you were talking about how Third Strike is responsible for, one could argue that Third Strike is responsible for how hyped the FGC has gotten.
You're goddamn right, he did.
And so with that said, what was your reaction when Third Strike wasn't even on the EVO Player's Choice ballot?
Come on, we know.
On my wrist if you really want to.
Wizard hates Third Strike. End of story.
Okay.
End of conversation.
Cut my wrist
really?
No, I didn't. I didn't cut my wrist, but I mean, honest God, when I sat there and they were like blah 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 blah, Windjammers, Ultimate Marvel versus blah 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 blah, and I'm like, you mean to tell me out of all of these games, Windjammers over Third Strike?
And it's like
got on this list,
and it's like
and I just sat there and I'm just like, you mean to tell me that 2004 at all wasn't any accountable for creating what you see right now?
Third Strike is the bastard child of fighting games.
I was really heartbroken.
I've always been of the opinion, like, every tournament, if they can, should have ST and Third Strike.
Damn right.
Because
just out of principle.
Yep.
Kind of like how
absolutely.
in basketball games, right? They always have like Bill Russell and Oscar Robertson, like in the stands because they're just they were the pioneers.
The vocal majority against Third Strike have killed it.
NBA All-Star break.
End of story.
Bill Russell was just like practically falling asleep during the dunk contest.
No, I swear the NBA is keeping him alive. Like I swear, like he's
I
only
would
conscious
totally
during games. And then after games, they put him back in a cryogenic like chamber.
I mean, not to break off on a quick tangent, but the Russell Westbrook commercial.
Oh,
he's just like, I'm the all-time Russell in the NBA. He was like, I don't think so.
I don't think so. That was a good commercial.
I was rolling after that.
Well, the thing that bothered me most about
ST is not in the tournament and held to a level of respect,
which is the same. Not HD version.
No, exactly. And I mean, this all stems back to the concept of saying, if you can have ST on a super gun and have custom sticks that people are signing on the stage as they play, why can't you hold a Third Strike tournament to pay homage to what it set up for what we're watching 13 years later. Why not?
I mean, the reason is money.
Oh, well,
like
of
Capcom
course.
isn't going to make money off of Third Strike or ST being a big hype thing at tournaments, so they're not going to. They don't care, and then money's the way everything's decided in, or at least for Evo, most tournaments. I think Combo Breaker does it right, where it's just like, look, signups,
1,000 games.
Well, no, it's just like if you have enough signups for a thing, we'll run it, basically.
Pretty much. I mean, but I think like shout outs to the Shen, on YouTube. I watch a lot of what he has going on. I mean, and a big thing is that I think he uses the word, and I think the word really sums up our community. Third Strike community, 3S community, whatever you want to call it. Street Fighter 3 Third Strike is summed up as the most prestigious level of Street Fighter you can ever play. And yes, unfortunately, in some cases, or in every case, you have no choice but to, if you want to prove yourself in that community, it's not in America. It's not in South America. It's kind of in Europe, kind of. I'll give Gutter Trash. Yo, those are my guys. They know what they're doing out there. They know mad props to Gutter Trash. But I'm going to tell you right now, even Gutter Trash will say, and they'll back me up, if you want to say that you're the most prestigious Third Strike player, you'll go to Japan. And that's the reason why you and Nika went there, was to try and prove you show, see how you did. And it's because Japan still feels that game is on another level, dude. It's on another level, man. Yo, what is it? What was it, 40, 45? 45 teams?
No, more than that.
Yeah. I mean, just out of sight. I mean,
the sheer numbers, and also the fact they get it done.
You get it done in one day. One day.
I do feel like when I was in Japan, I feel like there was a respect for the game that's not here.
Absolutely. I mean, you're breaking bread with the people that just took the game to what it is, let alone took it to a different higher power, man. You're just like, you're watching it. I mean, I ain't trying to sit here and lick ass or kiss noses or just, make someone seem like they're just like on another level of godness. But let's face it, there's nobody in America that can contest to what they got going on out there.
Absolutely.
Hands down.
I just like the production quality.
I mean, exactly. I was like, the production quality. They go through the tournament with ease. They can bounce between cabinets back and forth, give you a level of just like, yo, this is what this team's doing. This is what they're doing over here. I mean,
maybe you can answer, they have real ass sponsorships for the event.
Exactly.
Right?
For the longest time they didn't. I mean, for the longest time it was just Matsuda and Game Newton. It was only very recently that they've started to get a little bit of help. But it's really a community-driven event, which makes it I think that's why it makes it so special.
And I think that's the reason why a lot of us, for example, that play 3S, there's a level of those guys are doing it right. We can get down on that. I appreciate what they're doing over there. Guys like me who sit there and they stay up till 6, 7, 9 o'clock in the morning watching these events. They're like, hey, every Thursday before I'll attest to it. Thursday, yesterday, GameStop.
Yep.
Or today, excuse me. Yeah, yo.
So
I got down with my morning cup of tea.
So before we take
gobbled down on my Taco Bell morning breakfast. And you know what I was watching?
Yo, don't even talk about Taco Bell.
GameStop Third
I'm
Strike.
triggered right now.
Don't even talk about Taco Bell
I could go
breakfast.
for some
That
tacos.
shit's broken. Taco Bell breakfast is the Third Strike of fast food breakfast, dude.
Yo,
It is.
I will
It's
tell you
breakfast.
right now.
You know how Third
Hold on,
Strike.
man.
You know how Third Strike is Street Fighter, but
Hold on there.
but beyond Street Fighter,
Hold
right?
on, Derek.
Taco Bell breakfast is
Real
breakfast,
controversial part.
but
I'm
beyond
gonna blow
breakfast.
your mind with what I have to
It's
say
like
about
next.
Taco Bell
It's like
breakfast.
next level breakfast. Okay, that's what. But anyway,
I don't know.
Before we take our I'll let you talk about Taco Bell breakfast when we come back from the break.
I'll talk about Taco Bell all day.
Okay.
Not just the breakfast.
But before we go on our final break, Rick, not to put you on the spot, but I think what you said there, is really enlightening. So I don't want to put you guys on the spot, but before we take our last break, we talk about how important it is for the community to sort of support Third Strike and the events. Is there a chance that Poverty Game Night might come out to maybe a bigger event Like say maybe for example TFC or
This
maybe Summer
This
Jam or
guy.
NEC, and maybe sort of be willing to work with the other people who are trying to organize the event to make something really big.
What day is TFC? I'm being serious. I mean, I
well,
got to know this.
TFC is
I got a
usually
family of
yeah.
3 and a wife that loves her man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to be. I got to
Gotta be in
be.
the schedule months ahead.
I got to know this type of stuff
Yeah.
ahead of time. I got to make sure.
Yeah. Well,
But I'm being serious. I mean, I've been asked. I got a buddy of mine named Zindel. He's out of Massachusetts. He's talked about it like, yo, I got other guys. I remember when there was a 3v3 at one of your guys' tournaments. I think it was NEC, and Kyoto was like, yo, Rick, if you go to NEC, I'll be your partner, and then we'll scoop up sandy bags. He was like, I'll rock 2 Hugos and a Makoto. I was just like, man, get the hell out of here, dude. But no, what day is that? Seriously.
Well, TFC's in October. We're not sure about the exact date, but it's probably going to be around October. The guy you want to talk to, of course, is Exodus. He's the guy who runs the Third Strike TFC and Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, met him at Civil War last year.
Cool guy, I guess. But I mean, the unfortunate part about it with October is being a family man and being in that family man land. You definitely have some challenges involved with it. Especially when it comes down to babysitting and making sure your time is prioritized correctly. But I would love to be there.
Well, Steve's single and ready to mingle. He's not tied down or anything.
I'm also broke. That's my main problem.
That's the operative problem with the FGC in general.
It's not a matter of the FGC, it's just bombs. Coming out of like college in the early 2000s and like, yo, what up, dog? I'm dead. But if Umicon and the TFC wasn't so close, I mean, I guess I could go ahead and kind of branch out. But correct me if I'm wrong. TFC is like where's it located at? Pennsylvania, right?
North Carolina.
Same thing.
Fuck me.
Same thing. Shots.
Like you ain't surrounded by lakes.
I was just
it's all the same shit.
If you're not in a peninsula, you can't tell me where you live out in your hand. But I mean, I don't know, man. Like I said, I mean, it would be a wonderful thing to be able to travel and do what we do, and spread that 3S love and all that good old holy arcade board goodness to everybody. But I mean, at this point in time, I mean, we've kind of slightly dedicated ourselves to our homeland of Michigan and Detroit with Umicon, that once a year thing. Surprisingly enough, I mean, I got to be real with you guys. I'm quite surprised that my wife was like, yeah, it's okay if you go ahead and do the one down in Sterling Heights for Michigan Masters. I was like, what? I was like, yo, okay, bet that.
Well, speaking of Michigan Masters, we're going to take our final break. But when we come back, we're going to go ahead and talk about this big event that you guys have coming up in your area, Michigan Masters. There's going to be a lot of old man games there. And we're also going to talk a little bit about, we're going to do a little foreign language exchange.
What?
Because I have some questions about some names that you have for certain Third Strike moves.
The definitions.
Oh, shit.
Yes, some definitions. And maybe we could exchange some lingo here.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Our people know what that dick face is about.
What? All right. Well, on that note,
commercial break.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and take our final break. So, for you guys who are watching, don't go anywhere. We're gonna be back in a couple minutes, and stay tuned, guys.
By the way, before you break off in your Taco Bell rant, can I just say one thing, and
All
you'll
right,
probably
sure.
maybe agree with me
All right.
if you're Latin, or maybe excuse me, if you're Latin or Hispanic. If Taco Bell were to just introduce chorizo with their with their burritos for the morning time, I would probably buy stock with them.
You know, you're right, Rick. The fact that Taco Bell doesn't have any chorizo items are
Exactly.
does seem kind of weird.
Here's the
right?
thing. Here's the thing. What Taco Bell really is, it's not anywhere close to authentic, Latin food. It's just American.
Well, no
it's,
shit, Farhan.
Yeah, no shit. So how do you?
I don't go to
how do
Taco Bell
listen,
for
how the
Mexican
fuck?
food.
Listen. So what do you expect? Some guy in fucking Texas to go? Yeah, I'm gonna down this here Budweiser lemon. Let me head to Taco Bell. Like, what the fuck's a fuck it, just
dude.
like,
if there was an adjective for Taco Bell food, I would use it, but there isn't. So that doesn't
yeah.
mean
So,
that I think Taco Bell is
that's what we're
Mexican.
getting. We're getting processed ground beef, bootleg tortilla, processed cheddar cheese. All right, some lettuce, and you just fucking put hot sauce on it.
All right.
And it's good.
Try the AM Crunch Wrap with steak, and then get back at me.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
that's all
godlike.
No,
Godlike.
right?
It's
That's the thing.
godlike.
Right?
They had the AM Crunch Wrap with chorizo.
Oh my
Don't-
god!
I'm sure if Taco Bell had chorizo, I'd be weighing 20 pounds heavier right
Oh
now.
my gosh!
But
You know
I'm
what's funny
doing
is
my
that
best.
wife
I'm
was
doing
just
my
like,
best to be a responsible
from
citizen.
American strats. But my wife actually just read some article stating that out of all the fast food chains, Taco Bell was voted, as well as analyzed, as the most healthiest place to eat at.
Even healthier than Wendy's?
Bro,
Awesome.
Wendy's is god awful.
Wendy's is
Burger
Wendy's dog
But
shit.
all the old people.
What are you
all the
talking?
old people go to Wendy's.
They go there to
Bro,
get a
bro,
coffee and
I
sit
almost
down.
feel like I'm doing my brown duty when I walk into Taco Bell. There's all these like white Caucasians. They're like, they're like, a brown man just walking to Taco Bell. They're like, it must be good, honey.
The only thing I'm tired about with Taco Bell is they got rid of the waffle taco.
That was god awful, man.
I thought
I'm
it was
going to
alright.
leave.
Listen. Once they brought back the cheesy gordita crunch, I realized they were listening to the real consumers.
All I know is Taco Bell breakfast is the third strike of fast food breakfast.
Okay.
Yo, I'm telling you, these dollar burritos
Mm-hmm.
are the red berries of burritos.
Yeah.
They're pretty good, dude.
All right,
I
so
probably
go
at
ahead.
least two times a week, guaranteed.
all
I'm a
right.
sausage potato guy. The papas.
The papas.
Papas fritas.
Papas fritas. Okay, so to get back on semi third strike related ground. So Rick, Steve, for those of you who have never watched Poverty Game Night, and if you haven't, please do. I'm gonna go ahead and type the address on the Twitch chat. And so, is there like a particular day that you guys stream Third Strike? Because I know you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm such a scrub. Like I didn't allow links on my own stream, and then I tried to.
Wow, you fucking suck.
Everybody can type this on their own, all right? It's demonparty.org.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Don't fuck that first letter.
Anyway, so just follow their Twitters. Rick has left the podcast in disgust.
Yeah,
So just follow the Twitter. Follow the Twitter. Oh wait, it shows up. That's weird. It shows up on the actual on the stream, but it doesn't show up in the chat. You see that?
That's some IRC shit going down.
That's some IRC shit. I said, "Fuck you." I got you. Option select. That was some
Everything
option
with you is an option
shit.
select.
Yeah, everything is on. All right.
So
So
just tell people it is, and then it is.
So now that Rick's gone, maybe you can take over, Steve. So for those of you who've never watched Poverty Game Night, these guys have certain lingo for certain third strike moves, and so I wanted to go ahead and just kind of poke your brain and ask you where some of these things come from, and then maybe we could sort of exchange stories, and maybe you could start using some of our lingo on your stream. So let's go ahead and look at some of this lingo here. All right. So so right off the bat, we have Shoto's crouching hard punch, and you guys call it dick face.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about
I don't know. I think it came from like jumping in and fucking up my parry a bunch of times. Like, man, you're dick face. You just keep fucking crouch fiercing me. And I don't know. It just became because it's a really good crouch fierce.
Uh-huh.
It is.
And I don't know. You just There's no real explanation, but that's how all of these are. Let's be honest.
Okay. So I'm from SoCal, and what we usually call crouching fierce with Shotos is Mexican uppercut. And
Alright.
the origins are 100% thoroughly racist.
Absolutely.
It has to do with
I can confirm
it
that.
has to do with random it has to do with random Mexican players who walk into the arcade trying to do Shoryu, and they keep fucking up the motion, and instead they're getting crouching fierce. And so, maybe you guys, maybe that's, you guys are, well, you're white, Rick is, but maybe Rick can use that. But maybe you should stay away from that, Steve.
So
Alright,
maybe
so-
it's best
shit.
that no one uses.
maybe
that.
no one uses it.
It's
Alright.
possible.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at some other ones. So, I love your explanation for Perry. It's like blocking that better.
I have no qualms with that statement.
Well, remember in Japan they call parry block,
Right.
and they call block guard.
Yeah.
So whatever. So let's see.
Yeah,
what some
I
other
think the
ones-
next part's just like general stuff for people who don't play fighting games. It's just like buttons, but there's some weird shit in there.
Oh, here's a good one that we can maybe exchange. Here, Ken standing hard kick. You guys call it Roadhouse. Where did that come from?
Yeah,
Patrick
like,
Swayze
like the
involved?
movie Roadhouse.
Yeah, is Patrick Swayze involved?
I mean, it's just I think it was like like a Family Guy thing where there's the one part where he kicks a guy in the face and says Roadhouse. It was just like, all right, so you get hit with a stand roundhouse, just Roadhouse.
Yeah. Well,
That's
in New York, we have. I feel like in New York we have far more offensive names for these moves.
Yeah.
So,
Much more racist, much more offensive.
So we call standing roundhouse by Ken the abortion kick.
Okay, I can see that.
Because
So it's one that's not on that list. It's a newer one we came up with. It's Dudley's stand roundhouse. We call the Baby Crusher.
the baby. Oh,
That's
okay.
good.
Well, there
Okay.
you go.
I fuck
So
with
you
that.
have
For
the
similar
baby
reasons.
crusher, and we have the abortion kick. It's Roe v. Wade in Third Strike. Okay, my channel is probably gonna get shut down.
All
very
right.
soon.
Say goodbye to Twitch.
Well, anyway, we call it abortion kick because like it hurts getting hit by that move, right? Especially if you're like a
Oh, for
female
sure.
character, and it's just like the fetus just.
Oh,
comes
especially
out
if
of
you're a
you.
chun.
Yeah, especially if you're a chun, because it's not bad against.
No,
chun.
it's pretty good.
Yeah, okay. So
I think the term Baby Crusher came from a fight with an Ibuki
okay, yeah,
Sorry about that, guys.
because low health.
Yeah.
It hurts.
yeah.
Oh, no.
So
Just talking terms.
Oh, terms.
we're talking
Oh,
terms.
man. Oh,
So Rick, you are not allowed to use our name for Crouching Fierce with Ken. Well, no.
He's
Steve,
the only one allowed.
Steve,
to use it. Let's be
yo,
honest.
you are the only one allowed because
I'm the only one allowed who use what?
because our term for Crouching Fierce with Shotos is Mexican uppercut.
Oh, God.
So, but Steve can't use it.
No. the big face.
Yeah, and you call Ken standing hard kick Roadhouse. And
Yeah, it's from Family Guy.
yeah, and we call it the abortion kick.
Oh man. Oh no. I got some new words for you guys.
so that's how I came.
Yeah,
up.
we
Oh,
talked
baby
about the
crushers?
baby. We talked about the baby
Oh, the
crusher.
Baby Crushers.
So
Oh man. Stand Roadhouse with Dudley.
This
Oh,
is something
Baby
I'm-
Crushers.
that
That's a very Baby
trimester,
Crusher.
that trimester attack. Okay, so we got.
Gets in there.
So like that Mr. Habuki right there.
Yeah, I wanna
aka
know about
Roo,
this.
That
What
actually
is
comes
this?
from my my oldest son back when he was about 2.5 years old. Ryu obviously says Hadoken, and then there I think in the CVS 2, Yo says like he throws like a different style Hadouken basically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the sound bite sounds like Habugi,
Mhm,
and that actually comes from my son when he was really young.
mhm.
He would just call Ryu, "Oh, that's Mr. Habugi."
That's awesome.
He shoots Habukis.
Exactly, he just shoots
He
Habugi.
shoots
So
Habukis.
like that was just an old term back when like my son was
So
really
yeah,
young.
a bunch of those are just like him.
Yeah.
Came from him.
For
Mr.
sure.
Habuki. That sounds like
That's
a
a cute name.
that sounds like a reject boss name for like a side-scrolling beat 'em up, right?
I was gonna say. I was just gonna ask. Is that a Streets of Rage character?
Yeah, right. I thought it was a Streets of Rage character. I was like, so salmon. Hugo's crouching.
Okay,
hard
so
punch.
I
I fucking
know
hate
there's
that movie.
a ton of people out there within our community that would call it like, Hugo's Down Fierce is like the dolphin.
Uh-huh.
There's like the popcorn.
Uh-huh.
I've seen someone even call it like, goodness gracious, like the pogo.
Uh-huh.
I just, I'm from Michigan,
Uh-huh.
and you go salmon fishing, and that's the only thing that you see swim. That's the only thing that you ever see swim upstream. So I just called it the salmon. Like when he jumps,
Uh-huh.
it's a salmon.
So you go salmon fishing?
But I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
why.
You guys go salmon? You guys go salmon fishing? Like actual salmon fishing?
Salmon becomes salmon hunter, I guess.
Well, what were you saying there, XP?
You guys actually go salmon fishing?
Oh yeah, why?
I mean, I don't.
Oh man, that's awesome. Because I told you I have family in Troy. So
Oh,
if,
no shit,
So
huh?
if Farhad and I, if me and Farhad go to Michigan, you'll take us salmon fishing.
I'd love to go salmon
I would
fishing.
love to go salmon fishing.
Unfortunately, it's all depends on the season. Like if you want to catch salmon in the river,
Uh-huh.
between end of September and beginning of October is like the prime time.
Uh-huh.
But outside of that, I'm not taking you on no boat. Brown folks don't do boats.
Brown folks don't do boats.
It's like we don't do boats and we don't do ice fishing, bro.
Okay.
Sorry, Doc.
Here are a couple things. Oh, this one's good. So, Alex is standing hard kick. Meow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he says.
That's what he says. It's the
Yeah.
sound. He's like meow.
Oh.
It's simple as that.
It's the meow
Well,
kick.
Alex would be great in Super Troopers.
Oh, this one you'll like, Farhad.
Troopers.
So Alex
Oh.
for Q's jumping MK is Van Damme.
That makes sense.
I mean,
I could see
That
that.
makes sense. It's the Van Damme kick,
Yeah.
aka
I
the
can
If
see
only
that.
Q
they had a
Dam.
soundbite where he's like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
So Diggeroni. What is a deep attack? Is that like a deep jump in or like a deep meaty or
Like
what?
that.
A meaty.
You're like, oh man, that's some diggeroni right there. Like basically, it's like, say for example, you throw like the Mexican. What do you call it? The Mexican. What kick was it? I'm calling it. I'm calling it. Oh, that's Mexican uppercut. No, let's say for example, you do like Roadhouse with Ken,
Uh-huh.
and you put it out deep enough. You'd be like, yo, someone just eats that shit. Yo, that's a diggeroni right there. And it's like you're digging for that shit. Oh man, the pizza cutter.
Yeah. Yeah, what we call deep jump-ins, balls deep.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, I can see it.
dude,
Yeah.
nothing feels better in both instances than to hit somebody with a Shoto jump fierce really
Yeah.
deep, like
Yeah.
a really deep jump fierce, a jump roundhouse. I mean, like a jump
What show,
roundhouse.
Disney? What was the show? Come on, Downer Kid.
Oh, Gravity.
yeah. You guys ever watch Gravity Falls?
No.
Oh, dude, we got to post that on our Discord.
So there's an episode where the what's his name, Paul Robertson. He did like the sprites for what the fuck's it called, the Scott Pilgrim game.
Mhm.
Yep.
They did an episode basically where like a fighting game character comes into the real world. It's like a cartoon, but then like he's a pixel guy that comes to the real world, and like at some point he goes and he's like
Going
walking
through his
across the street, he
move
goes uppercut, downercut, bowl of punch,
Wow.
and
It's so good. Like
Yeah.
for those that don't know, like
Downer
YouTube,
Cut.
Gravity Falls, Street Fighter episode. Trust me, it's one of the best episodes of the entire show because he's just like downer cut.
Mhm.
It's pretty much the best punch in the world.
Mhm.
It was a downer cut.
And this is probably my all-time favorite right here. Throw a blanket on the router.
Oh yeah. Most of our streamers
well,
know.
online edition.
Most of our followers know that when we're online, and let's say for example, here's the setup and the rundown how that goes. So me and you,
Uh-huh.
I queue up,
Uh-huh.
you queue up.
Uh-huh.
You go to select our characters, everything's cool. It just told me that you had about 110 ping.
That's
We're like-
playable.
It's around the corner.
Uh-huh.
Like, well, let's get down. Then out of the blues, I beat your ass real quick with Hugo. And out of the blues, we go into the next thing you know, like bodying me. And like we're just like that guy just threw a blanket on his router. And
That
just
wouldn't
flipped
even
it
do
up.
anything to the router, would it?
Well, depending on how old the router is,
Exactly.
Does that even do anything to a router?
Well, if it's a wireless router, I'm sure it'll do something.
Yo, no, those blanket strats. Let's just say those blanket strats are pretty strong sometimes.
So people throw blankets on routers or start their porn torrents. To get
Oh, the latter is definitely much more relatable.
Yeah.
Torrent. Did you guys just start torrents in the second round, or
Yeah, right.
what?
Possibly.
Are you being, what? Did I not take the red pill in the Matrix before I stepped on online edition?
Yeah, definitely. I know EXO has a hotkey for torrents, for starting torrents. When he puts online. So, with that note, well, thanks guys for explaining some of the lingo. So, for those of you guys who catch, and so what are there certain days that you guys stream Third Strike?
Not really.
I would love to stream every day. Let's see.
So would I.
I was like that family man. That family man line definitely kind of has the tendency to draw me in a different direction.
If you could get a hold of Rick's schedule and his wife's schedule, there's certain times when those intersect in such ways that we can stream.
Oh, okay.
For example, I mean, not to put a shout out right now, but directly after this stream, I will probably likely be streaming 3S.
Great. So for those of you who who are up and are fiending for some Third Strike online, definitely go to twitch.tv Poverty Game Night. So let's go ahead and move on, guys. And the next thing I want to talk about is Michigan Masters. So tell us a little bit about this event, Michigan Masters.
There's not a whole lot to say. It was like it came about just like we did Youmacon, and then Jay was like, "Hey, I'm bringing Michigan Masters back as its own thing," because like for a couple years it was like part of Youmacon, and he was like, "Hey, Old Man Games at Youmacon was great. Can you guys come out to Michigan Masters, do that shit again?" And we're like, "I mean, we gotta see the schedule, whatever. Apparently, it's fine." We said, "Hey, we're not like we got to decide on games and schedule and all that."
Yeah, it's a 2-day event, so unlike, for example, with Youmacon, where it was like a kind of a 1-day event, where we actually did all 4 games in 1 day. This time we can actually spread them out.
Yeah, and obviously we're not doing Marvel 2 because, again, 2 people signed up for it. And we have a working CPS2 now, so we're going to do ST.
Yep.
Because it's ST.
Great. And so just for those of you who want some basic information... Go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, no, I just wanted to give the Stream Monster some basic information. So, Michigan Masters, what is that, 17?
Yeah.
Michigan,
I don't...
That's.
I'm not up on the Roman numerals.
Yeah, man.
I don't know like how many there have been.
I don't even know what the fuck M is in Roman numerals. Fuck me.
I know it's not 10.
New York education.
Shit. I know X is 10. That's all I need to know.
That can be 57.
The end is definitely 17. So the 2 M's is probably for 2000.
Oh, 2017.
Oh, shit.
Let's go.
That's actually pretty neat.
That's sick.
Yo, by the way, mine. Blowing.
Mind blown.
Holy shit.
So Michigan Masters 2017. Wow, this is I think we've drunk too much.
I would feel sad that I didn't quite catch that, but right now I need some more alcohol, so I really don't care.
So Michigan Masters.
By the way, shout outs to anybody who wants to come. Yo, I'm gonna say this right now on record. I know it sounds crazy to say, but if you want to come to this event and you're out of state and you fly here, I will come pick you up in my car.
Oh, okay.
From Detroit.
Wow, you heard it. You heard it straight.
Metro. I will personally put my own expense to come hang out with us, be a part of the crew. I can't guarantee you where the hell we're gonna sleep at.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm used to sleeping wherever the fuck.
You guarantee transportation, but not room and board.
If you got a hotel room, let us know.
It's like, but I'm gonna tell you right now, yo, for real, yo, shout outs. Anybody that wants to come out to the event that is, looking to just have some fun, hang out with the guys, get down on the old man games. God, I hate really saying that because I don't feel old. But anybody wants
we're
to
over 30, man. We're old.
Are we? I mean, really, are we?
Look, we're older than
I think Farhad's the only person that's not over 30.
Yeah, that would be correct.
Yeah. If you want to come out to Joe G's or Joe G's
Game Center.
Joe G's Game Center over there at Lakeside Mall, you want to hang out with me, my boy Steve, our homeboy Johnny, and Vince, who's coming up from Cincinnati, as well as our buddy good old DDR Joe. I'm gonna tell you right now, come out. give me a heads up. Send us a text message. Say, yo, dude, this is my flight. I'm getting off. This is my name. I will come pick you up. We'll shoot out to Lakeside Mall. Go hang out for the next couple of days, and I'll drop your ass off.
Okay. Important thing: if you just want to play Third Strike, that's going to be on the 2nd.
Yes.
So, like, you can come out and only come out for one day and enter, that.
Mhm.
I forget the exact. I think CVS 2 is definitely on the 1st, and Third Strike is definitely on the 2nd. I don't remember where ST and Breakers are. It's the schedule's not set in stone, but those two are definitely going to be there because CVS 2 takes forever, so it needs to be a game at the second game of the night, and Third Strike is going to probably have the most people, so that's going to be the second game of the night.
And to reestablish some things, and that is everything is played on arcade hardware.
Mhm.
Super Gun, we got
Super
damn,
Gun.
so if you bring a 360 PS3 stick, whatever, it'll work.
You want to bring
Should
you
work.
want to bring your fight pad? Yo, we got you. We would like to believe.
If you really like a 360 D-pad for some reason, just make sure it's a wired version.
And we got you.
Even if even a hitbox,
I want to say
Probably.
I'm pretty positive the
What do you have
undammed
against
USB
hitboxes, Farhad?
You can press back and forward at the same time.
part. There's multiple setups there, and at the same time, multiple super guns.
Mhm.
Toronto crew, Super Turbo crew out of Toronto. Those guys are coming out.
Oh,
and they're gonna-
Atari.
So we're
Atari,
hoping
Atari
that
FGC. Yeah.
it's supposed to be a really nice event.
We're trying to get Vince, who's down in Cincinnati now, to get Ohio people to come up. I don't know if that'll happen, but hopefully.
Yeah, I will pick you up, man.
Wow, that's really
I
nice.
said. By the way, I only have a Chevy Lumina, so I can't pick a ton.
Works for me.
But when you're in the car, you're safe because that's just metal.
Exactly. I was like, but I got some tens in the back.
That's a
you
pretty.
know.
That's a
We'll
pretty
bump
typical.
back.
That's a pretty typical brown. That's a pretty typical brown man's car.
I'm sure
Oh,
it's
that's-
tuned up as
yeah.
fuck though. 400 horsepower,
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
Hey.
And you
Let-
guys
let's
are
just say-
streaming it, right? You guys are streaming Third Strike and ST.
We're streaming all of our games. which
All of
are
our games. Yep.
Breakers, ST, CVS2, and Third Strike.
That's
Yep.
awesome, man. So again, guys, for those of you who are interested in coming to play some old man games, whether you're in the Midwest area or not, again, Michigan Masters 2017,
Holy shit.
MMXV211, April 1st and 2nd at Joe G's Game Center inside Lakeside Mall. For more information, go to smash.gg/Michigan Masters 2017 or feel free to, send a message or tweet to the Poverty Game Night guys, throughout the entire stream, obviously. You can see their Twitter there on the lower right-hand side. And so is there anything else you guys want to say about Michigan Masters?
I guess there's a $25 pop. Right now, there's a $25 pop bonus for ST.
Mm-hmm.
Pop bonus, I think there's supposed to be more that are going to be announced soon,
Mm-hmm.
probably along when the schedule comes up.
Okay.
But also, just big thanks to Jay, like Yace, Mr. Usak, the whole Yace crew, those crazy fuckers that
For
are
sure.
the ones running it.
For sure.
You know.
They're the ones that bring it back.
It's
as a
happening, so we're there,
event.
I guess.
So, I mean, a few years ago, it was actually part of Umicon,
Mhm.
but at the same time now, they're kind of going ahead and just
I mean,
bring
there's
it
no
back
budget in
and-
Umicon, so might as well just do it on our own.
Exactly. So, just we're hoping for a good turnout.
Uh-huh.
Remember that registration will be, I guess, as dumb as it
Yeah.
sounds.
Oh, yeah. We should probably say
Registration
all of our
online?
games are $15 entry. It's a little higher because there's caps and
Because we want to make sure this shit is serious.
So people can get money if they win. That's
get
the
that
most
money.
part.
You know what I'm saying?
I think all the other tournaments are like $10 for the most
Exactly.
part. Yeah, it should be a good time.
If not, you know what? I guarantee you, we got something that'll, wet the whistle.
We're having a bad time. Yeah, we'll
Sounds
make
good
it a
to
good
me.
time by getting drunk.
Sounds
You
good.
know.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
I don't know what the rules are at Joe G's. They might not
I
be.
mean,
down
we're
with
on
that,
a
but we
bar,
can,
so
we can always go to the parking lot if we have to.
Hey, now I really want to go.
Yo, yeah, I got you some drink. You want to come out?
Oh shit!
It's
All right.
like-
Uh-oh.
Let me get this ticket ready. Shit.
Yeah, get that ticket. You gotta
I
log-
mean, we've been told that we were going to be spotted some gas money for this opportunity to stream,
uh-huh.
or been asked to, or what's the word now?
What?
Basically,
we're
when we
doing.
were asked to do this event,
Mhm.
we were told that we could help. We would be compensated with gas money for travel,
And that's it. And
and we
again,
were like, hey, as long as that
We're
shit,
doing it for the community. It's the same
Yeah.
reason we did Unicon. We didn't make anything off that.
No, that was zero
It's just a
funding.
matter of we want we want people to play Third Strike, and
Third
we have the equipment, so we might as well just do it.
Definitely.
Last thing here, if you are in any way or form playing Third Strike on an LCD, turn your monitor off
Please.
and go to Craigslist and buy the nearest CRT you can find and play it on that.
Okay.
Stop playing it on LCD.
All right.
Okay? Be part of the movement. 3S demands tubes.
Tubes.
You understand me?
Yes.
You can get free, nice Sony
I was like,
televisions.
To be honest with you,
as long as you
I
have
have-
the back
Yes.
to support moving.
The risk of bed bugs is worth
everything
it.
in my garage is Sony. And it's not because I'm some elitist prick. It's because 90% of the TVs I've been given
Mm-mm.
have literally been given to me or I've purchased for under $20. They're out there, people.
And
I'm
then,
telling you, dude.
and then the next level step is to do the RGB mod, right?
Oh, we got
I mean,
those.
you know,
We got those too.
It's a bit more money, but you can get some PVMs and shit.
I
Yeah,
was like,
do
yo,
it.
we got those. Yo,
But
we got those. Get a hold of your nearest cable company. Say, yo, dog, I heard you guys are throwing out those RGB monitors. They'll be like, you're damn right we are.
They're taking
That's
up
when
way
you
too
go
much
ahead.
space.
You just start scooping stuff up.
Scoops.
Exactly. Give them the old Haagen-Dazs.
Yes.
Scoops.
So before we get out of here, guys, I don't know if you're familiar with this part of the show, but now is the time.
Back it up.
Now is the time to review some of the more unique highlights from the YouTube Dirt Strike community.
Oh,
We
man.
like to call this segment "Pack It Up."
oh shit.
And so I don't know if you
I'm ready
guys have ever seen this before, and so definitely get ready. And so here we go. We're gonna
Let
go
me see
ahead.
this.
I'm nervous.
And so what
Yeah.
I've done, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Pack It Up, I have scoured YouTube for some of the most unique Dirt Strike gameplay, and I have
Oh,
found
That's
God.
a very interesting.
and I have
choice of
found
words.
5 nominees from this last week's
I
Third
need some
Strike.
beers here.
And so, without further ado, here is the newest episode of Pack It Up. Oh wait, what happened here? What did we do here? Sorry. All right, Pack It Up. All right, nominee number 1. This Ryu player could probably use a little more time in training mode after this follow-up dungeon.
Oh shit! Is this Denges?
No,
Yo,
it's
that
not
dick
Denges.
face just whiffed. Look at that dick face.
Yeah, that
Whiff.
just nominee number 2.
yeah, you forget
I
about
can think
that
of a lot of moves to start around. And that's probably not one of them. That's probably the worst possible move you can start around with. Nominee number 3, the Yomi in this Goki mirror is just off the chain. Just watch how these rounds start.
Oh, put him in the blender? Oh, man.
Oh shit!
So what happens in round 3? And he still manages to get hit by the Tatsu. Nominee
I'm just gonna say,
nominee
one
number
of our
4.
chickens-
I've heard of rollbacks.
Nine
Far
cents.
on.
God.
But this is a rollback.
Holy shit! Okay.
Yo,
This
godlike.
this is a
Godlike
rollback.
reaction.
This
Hit
yeah.
him with that thriller.
Yeah. And
Never
then lastly, nominee number 5. Just because you can't chip in SF5 doesn't mean that you can't
Wow.
do it in other games.
What?
Look at this Ken
Hold on.
player not even flinch as a dagger goes straight to his kneecaps.
Yo, man. If you died to a chip in our crew, you will be ridiculed for like about a week straight.
So, tweet me your favorite if you want to.
Can I put in my favorite right now?
What's your favorite?
My favorite's the
Farhan?
Makoto.
The Makoto one is
Yes.
your favorite? Well, how about you
Absolutely.
guys? What do you think?
Absolutely. Number 2 is going to be a solid win for me.
So-
So, okay, funny thing is though, if that Makoto played that Akuma, the Makoto would have won.
Oh yeah, maybe
Yeah,
that-
definitely,
maybe that
definitely,
would've gone
definitely.
somewhere.
He had it red.
So, once again, for those of you who are watching, if you somehow find a clip online that you think deserves to be on the next Pack It Up, let me know. Tweet me the link. and we'll see if it makes the cut. All right, guys. So, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for the show. Huge shout outs. I know I said this during the break, but just coming from me, I have tremendous respect for you guys, Poverty Game Night crew, for all the things you've done for the Third Strike scene, in terms of just playing the game and putting it on stream and so forth and so on. So definitely shout outs to you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep streaming at your events. Hopefully we'll see you. Maybe at a larger event. Maybe one of these days. No pressure. All right. So Farhad, is there anything you want to say before you go?
Shout out to Chun-Li.
Shout out to Chun-Li.
Yo, shout outs to Flip Kick.
Flip Kick.
Yeah, the flip kick with the splits. The flip.
Oh, that
Okay.
thing.
The flip slicks.
Did you Tachi that the other day?
Yeah, I did.
So one last time, guys, remember that the Poverty Game Night boys are going to be streaming Third Strike and ST, and what other old man games are you streaming? That's it?
Yeah.
CVS 2 and
And-
Breaker's Revenge.
CVS 2, good luck with that. And
Free
Breakers,
NyQuil, yes.
and Breakers Revenge at Michigan Masters 2017.
20, all right, so that's how you read
2017, April 1st and April 2nd at Joe G's Game Center inside Lakeside Mall. Again, for more information, either go to smash.gg/Michigan Masters 2017,
You can
or
register right there and everything.
yeah, or go ahead and say hi and tweet, and message, drop a line to the Poverty Game Night boys. Once again, guys, you can please follow them on Twitter at Poverty Game Night, and please follow all of the other Third Strike related Twitters. Obviously, follow my Twitter at Mutant XP. Follow the This Is Third Strike Twitter, and also for those of you on Facebook, Third Strike Junkies, which has been kind of wild lately, but I guess that's a discussion that we're gonna save for another show. So once again, guys, thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate it, and if you guys want to come back, dude, we'll definitely have you back. It's
Oh,
been a
absolutely.
blast.
Yeah,
Thanks
for
for
sure.
having us, man.
All
For
right.
sure. Just send us an invite. We'll be back here. I got stories.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds
God.
So on behalf of Farhad Farouzi,
Firuza, you
Farouzi,
fucking
Oh, man.
chimp.
I think his name is Chad, right?
Chad
Thundercock.
Chad Thundercock.
Chad Thundercott. Dirk
Chad-
Diggler.
Dirk Dickler. So on behalf of Farhad, this is Mutant XP signing off. And and see you guys next Thursday, because next Thursday we're gonna have a very special guest.
Oh.
Next Thursday we're gonna have the Goki prodigy from Austin, Texas, Luke from Austin.
man.
And,
Luke from Austin.
and so definitely that's obviously that's obviously things might change,
Okay.
because you know how flaky Third Strike players are.
Well, hey, as I had mentioned as well, I'll definitely jump on right after this with
Yes.
some 3S Online Edition.
Definitely.
So see me on Xbox Live to begin with.
Yes.
If nobody's on there, I'll definitely go ahead and transition over to some PSN, and then we'll go from there.
If you're on PSN, plug in the Ethernet.
Yeah, the cord that
Please.
goes in the back, the one that looks like a big phone cable.
It's
Yeah.
a phone cable, but it's a little fatter.
It's not 56K. It's like what's it? It's 112K. The big one.
The
okay?
big one.
Just plug that in. Like Chad's looking at me like, that guy's so right. He's so right. Like, yo, just put that in your system, okay?
Listen, don't give
my
it a
hand
warning.
right here,
Just
cord.
stick it in. No lube.
Hand-
Apologize
Just
later.
stick it in.
Apologize
Just put it
later.
in. Then you got to go to your settings, and then you turn off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Wi-Fi. Turn off the Wi-Fi.
It's like- okay.
All right. All right, guys. So definitely check them out. All right, guys. Thanks again for everyone who's
Thanks,
tuned
man.
in.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right,
Nice meeting you.
and I'll see you guys next week.
Yep. Later.
Later.